with the news on. Get down.
Let me clear my throat. Yeah. Oh, that's better. That's better. Somebody pass around the offering. Since I'm always preaching on tracks, you feel me? I'm about to get paid for it. Sermon of the day. You right where you supposed to be, baby. Informants, informant, that information forming. Important you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings are not they snoring. You mellow, so focused on scoring. Got you underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. Cut that game plan. Show out like a jota. Pop out like a cutter. Telling the kick rock, skipping the course, squares like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes in my diddy boots. Ain't no stop. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing out there tonight? Do me a favor, welcome in. And Nate, please put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I was having some technical difficulties and want to make sure that you can hear me talking. Good evening, y'all. All right, thank you so much. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Thursday. How's everybody doing today? I'm so glad you all popped in. I'm glad that you are all here with us, and we are going to have another great night with a more amazing conversation. Looking forward to everybody being in the building on this evening, and we hope that you are looking forward to having a conversation with us. So, as you all know, you are a part of the Bravo Nation, the Thursday Night Bravo with Sheila on the Bravo Sheila Network. Okay, thank you. You can hear. Okay, perfect. I'm so glad. Thank you. Yeah, it just I wait at the last minute. Technology decides the technology, so we're just gonna let it do what it does, and we're gonna keep it moving, right? So I'm glad that it all worked out, though. So anyway, guys, welcome into Thursday night. I'm your host, Lady Dawn B here. As you all know, we're excited to have great conversation every Thursday. You guys tune in and you become a part of this wonderful encounter that we have, and we are looking forward to it. And we thank you and appreciate you so much for always showing up just to dialogue with us. We're not here to convict nor to convince, but we are here to have great conversation and just to grow together, learn, glean, and keep it moving, right? So, with that being said, I just want to share with you that we are not a Christian-based network. However, most of us that come on the panel are believers. So, as we're speaking and sharing, you may hear us refer to God. I'm a God's girl, so you're going to get a little Jesus every time you get me. So, we welcome everyone, whatever your thoughts, feelings, opinions, your moral compass is, we welcome it on tonight. And we ask that you would engage and share with us in the chat. We want to hear from you. We want to have conversation together. So with that being said, the number one rule and main rule here is respect. And with that, we do not tolerate with disrespect. We like to keep it integral. And again, we are free to share, engage, express your feelings, thoughts, and opinions. We just ask that we do so respectfully. We're not here to convict, like I said, or convince anyone, but we're here to share and to engage. We don't have to agree, and that's okay. We can agree to disagree, but we are here to learn one from the other. So with that being said, we do ask that everyone would remain respectful as we share and dialogue with each other. With that being said, we do have security in the house. She is known as the greatest moderator to ever do it in these YouTube streets in the person of Ine Kenya. She is awesome and amazing. And she says, hello, Bravo with Sheila, and hello, Lady Dawn B. And let's see. Okay, I love that shirt on you. Thank you, Nate. It's a dress. I feel fancy, believe it or not. But thank you so much. I feel a little sassy when I put this on. So I figured let me put it on tonight since I'm hanging out with my girls, chit chatting, you gotta beef it up sometimes. So with that being said, like I said, Anae is our moderator and we love and appreciate her. She keeps it moving and she makes sure everyone is greeted. But she will also hit that remove button should disrespect be found in the chat and or on the panel. So again, we ask everyone just to engage respectfully so that we can have a wonderful time and good conversation because that's what we've come to do. I want to also invite you to hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Please do. It is free 99 as we say here to you, but it means everything to us as it helps to push us out into this algorithm of these YouTube streets. And that is what we want. We want to draw more people into this space to have these great conversations. So if you wouldn't mind, please, ma'am, please, sir, just hit that button and we would appreciate it. Additionally, you can also hit that bell to subscribe to the network and become a part, even closer part of the Bravo family. And that way you will get all the notifications of the great, amazing things that we have going on here, such as Mondays Beyond the Mic, where Dr. Elaine is the host and I get to ride shotgun. I am the Robin to her Batman. And we go on and have amazing conversations. We have been talking about finance this month. And so if you join, hit that subscribe button. You don't have to join, but if you hit that subscribe button, you'll be able to be notified when we are on and see the different topics that we talk about. We are getting financially fit this month because we all know 2026. We say we want to be debt free and financially set. So we've been having great conversations about finance and a bunch of other things. So come join us Monday nights at 7 p.m. But tonight is the night where we come and we cut up with all the tomfoolery while we still have deep, meaningful conversation. So last week we had the men on at the men's lounge. If you missed it, you can catch the replay. Our spotlight guest was Moose B Strength, aka our Moses, and the men had a amazing show. And they were just sharing. As you know, the motto of the men's lounge is something happens when men speak. Well, something happened last week when our men spoke. What happened? We learned, we heard, and we embraced. So tonight, I'm proud to say it is the ladies' turn. And the ladies are in the lounge. I'm going to bring them up in a moment. And we are going to dig deep and have some girl chat on tonight. Some open conversation, free dialogue. I got a couple of questions for our ladies. And again, I hope that you would all engage and share your thoughts, feelings, and opinions as well in the chat as we are having this conversation. We want to go and grow. We want to do better. And I also just want to put this little disclaimer out there. As we're sharing, and I did this for the men, so I want to be fair and do it for the women. Men, you are welcome to comment, to be a part, and to share. But we ask you to lean in on tonight and to hear what we have to say. It's not a male bashing session. Our conversation, we want to be a wholesome conversation. So what we want to refrain from a little bit is when we are sharing our experiences, because we're all speaking from the well of our lives. And when we are sharing our stance, what we don't want is to feel or for the men or people to say, well, what about when they do it? Or what about when this one does it? We don't want to get into a combative conversation. We just want to get into an informational conversation, if that's all right. You know what I'm saying, guys? So we want to keep it even keel. We want to keep it fair. We want to do what's going to help us to create better communication amongst men and women. And so that's why last week we just had the men so they could freely share without judgment or without question. But we had conversation. And tonight it is the ladies' turn. So before I bring up our ladies who are in the gallery and ready to go, let's see who we have in the chat on tonight so far. The Juggling Mommy. Hey, sis, how are you? Welcome in. Thank you for tuning in and joining. I am so glad that you are here. I really appreciate you. Said Thursday was good. Excited for tonight's conversation. Yes, I got to get you up on this side of the panel one day, sis. Yeah, Thursday was good. It was really good to hear our men. And tonight we have a few questions for our ladies, and we are looking forward to hearing what they have to say. Yeah, and she says, yes, it was a great conversation last week. And thank you for hosting my brothers. Oh, you are welcome. I love them. I have grown to love them. Thank you for sharing them with me. They are amazing men, and we need to hear more men's voices to come across and to be heard, so that we as women, maybe when we hear the men speak, it will help to cancel some of our thoughts that we may have created, or even some of the experiences that we've had, just so we can communicate better with each other. So appreciate that. It's a pleasure to host them. And look, let's all welcome in Patrick Riley. Thank you for joining, AKA the Bishop, as I call him. Welcome in. So glad you made it on tonight. And for those who are up in the silent section in the expensive seats, you are welcome to come on down to the chat. Come in, say hello, let us know that you're there. So we just want to greet you properly. I promise you it is safe. We have security, so you don't have to worry. So I believe that is all of our greetings for the moment. If there's anything I forgot, guess what? We'll get back to it later. All right. So we want to get started with this great conversation on tonight. And I'm going to pull up our ladies who are in the building on tonight. Now, this young lady has been here before once, no, twice. This is her third go round. She is my, I want to say co-mom, because she is married to my son's father. And so with that being said, she is my sis. Love her to pieces. And you all know her, you love her. And I know I love her. And that's my girl. And so she is Lady Natasha Swinton is in the building.
Good evening, everyone.
How are you?
Happy to be here.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. Be happy to be here. All right. I love the happiness to be here. I'm glad you made it. Good to see you. Can't wait to hear from you.
All right.
All right. All right. And next up, as we invite to the stage, it is my other sis from a different missus, but the same Mr. God is our father. So she is my sister and just a sweetheart. She's been on here before, and this is also her third time. She is, every woman is all in her. I can't even begin to tell you the multitude of things that she does. Her most recent accomplishments is, listen, she'll get your life together. She's certified grief counselor now. Congratulations and all the awesomeness. She will help you with your finances, get your credits. Listen, she is all that and more. She is an author. She came and she shared her book about her daughter. I mean, just listen, y'all. If you don't remember her, you will before the night is over. And if you were on the last time, I know you remember her because she's just that awesome. She is my sis. Kina is in the building. How are you tonight, beautiful?
Hi.
How's everything?
I am great. It's lovely to see you. You went into my closet. We almost dressed alike. I knew we were sisters.
We right here. From day one, we right here. Don't play with it.
Right. You look very beautiful tonight.
Oh, I'm being twisted. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You know, you gotta sometimes they say on the days when you feel your worst, you have to dress your best. Even though I'm not feeling my worst today, but still, you know. But we have to because I said I'm coming with my ladies. So we gotta do the girly thing. We have to do what we do. So I'm glad you guys are here. I feel good today. I feel good. And last but not least, for the moment, you know her, you love her. Listen, what can I say? You see her every week. You know how they have America's Sweetheart? We have, oh, look at that. Juggling Mommy said, oh, yeah, I know it's the love. It's the love. It's what we do here. It's the love. And you know what? I'm excited today because I realized, well, let me bring her up and then I'll share my news with y'all today. But anyway, you know how they have America's Sweetheart? We have Bravo Sweetheart. Okay, you know her, you love her, y'all lean in, you go nuts every time she says something because everything she says is a good drop. Okay, she and I clicked, okay, like a key into a car hole. Listen, we turn and we do all the things, and we are thick as thieves in our loves, and she is my sis, and you know her as Coach Theo, the one and only. Hey, beautiful, how are you?
Hey, beautiful. Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
We are excited to be here. Now I know we all, I love this. I love this energy that we have. We're very demure right now. Everybody's very
Hey, Eric.
listen. We all, we all demure in the moment. How's everybody feeling today? Welcome in, welcome in. So listen, I'm so glad you ladies are here. We have one more of my good girls who's hopefully gonna be able to join us. But we are here and we're gonna get into this girls chat conversation as if we were just sitting lounging in the living room, just chilling with our beverages. You know how we do when you get together with your good girlfriends, and you know how we used to go out into the club and then, you needed to go freshen up or whatnot. So, we would go to the ladies' room in a group, so that's what we're doing tonight. We're having that kind of conversation that we would have when we go to the ladies' room. Now, when you go in the ladies' room, we're not as dainty as we are when we are outside. That's when we get in there with the girl. Listen, okay, this dude and all of the things. So, we're going to keep it right there on tonight, if that's all right with y'all. Y'all know we keep it 1000%. I'm trying to be mellow today. I don't know if it's working. I'm trying, but we're gonna see. But that's how we want to have some real conversations tonight, ladies. The juggling mommy says you ladies are looking very beautiful. Aren't they gorgeous?
Thank you.
That's how
You know what song I started thinking about? What's that song? We got a meeting in the. You know what song I'm thinking about?
ladies room.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be back. So that's what this is. That's what it is. It's when we come to have this meeting in this ladies' room. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions that you want to ask the panel, that you want to add into this conversation, please do put it in the chat. We will be happy to answer anything. Again, we're just having free and open dialogue on tonight. Nothing is pre-scripted. I want us to be able to talk and flow from a very pure and intentional place. Just to have great conversation and so that we can learn something from each other. Okay. Not too sure I'd make it to the good girl club. I'm a bit spicy. Come listen, just don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. You in the right club. You in the right club. You on the wrong side of the panel tonight, but that's okay because next time I'm gonna have you on this side of the panel. Come on in the spicy room. So don't let all this fool you. That's why I said we're very demure right now for some reason. But trust me, it's going to get spicy in a little bit. I promise you that. So thank you, ladies, for joining on tonight. And I just thought about it and realized one of the reasons why I feel so celebratory is because, and they had to remind me of my job today, is my 30th anniversary on my job. I've been there 30 years. I was like,
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, I've known them longer than I've known my own child. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, congratulations, my dear.
Thank you. It was like, oh, Jesus. I remember the first day I started. It wasn't my intention. If you told me then that I would have still been there now, I would have told you the lies you tell. And
to think I was excited about making 3 years of my
listen, come on. You better celebrate them 3 years. We big you up for 3 years. Them 3 years count. Okay. It's a big
I'm right behind you. I'm right behind you.
Come on, Tosh. Pull up the rear. Happy work anniversary. Thank you so much. Judge Mommy says that's a huge accomplishment. It is, girl. I feel like what you call it? Never would have made it.
That's it.
If you would have told me, listen, man. Anae's giving balloons. Juggler Mommy says, big congratulations because me and my job are not there yet. Listen, look at here. Whew, when I count the days, I think I've gone numb. I think they've been with me through life, death, birth, all of the phases and stages of life. But, that's just making me think of a question for us to start with. Did you ever see yourself? If you think of where you are now and where you started, did you see yourself in the place you are now. I mean, I know when I was, well, I was, how old was I when I started? I was younger. What, 36, 26? I think I was 26. I was 26 when I started there. And again, had I ever thought that this is where I would still be right now, I never imagined that. I saw other things happening, but I'm grateful for the fact that I'm still there because my job that I have now allowed me the space and opportunity to do the other things that I'm doing, things like this, So I'm grateful for that space. So let's just do a little icebreaker. How about that? Let's see, Coach Theo. Did you see yourself where you are now? Way back when?
I don't know. I don't know
Just what you saw for you.
I can't say that I did because honestly, I reached the pinnacle of my career, right, as a executive, and then made the intentional decision to go back to being an individual contributor so I could run my own business as well. Right. So I never, although it was a dream of mine, it had got lost.
Mm.
And so the fact that I actually ended up becoming an entrepreneur is for me like exciting because I literally thought about it, but then got so caught up in my career that it got lost. So I would say no. Like I actually thought I would probably be retiring from some executive level HR job.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Keena? Did you see yourself here way back when? Is this what you saw for you?
Well, I don't know how much younger I am than you guys, but way back when, like 10 years ago, when I graduated college, like with my master's, I always thought that I would just become like an accountant, but I end up working, as you guys know, with Progressive. And I never cared for entrepreneurship or being a business owner or even traveling. I just wanted to just do the 9 to 5, and that was it. So now being a business owner and being successful at what I do and traveling up and down my county, I'm now moving out of the county and actually loving what I do.
Okay.
No, actually, absolutely not. I always wanted to like basically die at my job, not like be a, what you call like a boss chick, like just be my own boss. So no, I did not see myself like this, honestly. Nope.
Isn't that something? Let me just read this comment real quick before we get to Tasha. Juggling Mommy says, career wise, no. Marriage, nope. Kids, yeah, I like them. Everything else, no. Okay, okay. I dig it. Welcome in, Landon. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for joining on tonight. Oh, look at you giving the love in the room. Come on, Tosh. Did you see yourself? Did you see yourself here, where you are now, way back when?
I'm
However far long ago.
kind of no, kind of yes. I work for the city. I work for New York City Transit. I did not I couldn't imagine myself being there for close to 29 years next month. So that's not something that I really envisioned. But of course, you want to do at least your 25 years to get that pension and get out. And I've gone a little bit beyond that. Had I not gotten, I've said many times, had I not gotten transit, I was planning on moving either to North Carolina or Canada. I wasn't sure which, but I was going to be out of this piece. New York is not what it used to be. And at the time, I had a 2-year-old son when I started with transit, and I did not, I really didn't actually want to raise him here in New York. But then
Mm-hmm.
I got a city job with a pension. So I wasn't going to be foolish enough to turn my back on that. But yeah, I either would have been in North Carolina or Canada. And I just came back from Canada. It's just American enough to be awesome, but just American enough not, to feel uncomfortable. So
Mhm.
yeah, I wouldn't have been here.
Okay.
I wouldn't have been here, but I'm glad I'm glad I stuck with it. And it's,
Mhm.
I work with customers, and it's interesting to say the absolute least. I'll just leave it at that. It's interesting working with the public.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
can agree. I think
those humans are something else, you know.
Mm-hmm.
yes, they are. I think we can all agree with that point. For whatever we encounter, because we all deal with the public in some way, shape, or form. So people are special. People are
Mhm.
definitely special. People.
Oh yeah.
But the one thing that I love about it is that um, just in thinking about it and asking, like I said, did I ever see myself? No, I did not. This was not at all what I imagined my life would be. I'm kind of like juggling mommy, career wise, no, marriage, no, kids, no. She said yes. She likes them. Nope, that was never my. It just wasn't anything. No, I feel like my life is nothing like what I envisioned it to be,
Hmm.
but is somehow yet everything it's supposed to be. It's the complete contrast. So sometimes I feel like at this point in retrospect, I feel like I was running away from getting to this place. So I was
Hmm.
trying to do the far less thing from what I wanted to do or what I should have been doing, but it's funny how we have to learn how to pivot, and I think for us ladies, we do so much and we get set in our ways and we get set into our spaces that we don't allow ourselves sometimes the opportunity to think outside, not even think outside the box, but to not even have a box.
Hmm.
Sometimes we're so busy being so many people and wearing so many hats to so many others that we stay stuck in those roles and don't really take the time to explore our own wants and desires or even go all the way with them. We may touch on them, a little bit. We're all parents in some way, shape, or form, whether it's aunties, godparents, or whatever. And if you think about how much of yourself did you put on hold or did you pause or did you sacrifice, just to be the resource or to support someone else's hopes and dreams and ours go to the side. Am I the only one? I'm sure I'm not the only one, but there are pieces of us. And do you ever stop to think about where would you be if you had just believed in yourself then?
Hmm.
Like to do that one thing. We all have one thing that we really want to do that we like, that's just too wild. It's just too impossible. Like, nah, that ain't for me. But
Yeah.
you thought about it, I'm like, is it just me? Everybody got one, Rose?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Tasha, there's
Yeah, I,
nothing
wi-
that you
I
ever wanted to be that you didn't do?
yeah. I wish I had had more confidence in certain. Honestly, this is how this is how the lack of confidence I had. I wanted to be ultimately a backup singer, not even the front person. I wanted to be a backup singer. That would have been awesome. And and I really didn't even have the confidence to pursue that when I
Okay.
was a lot younger. But honestly, in really thinking about the question that you posed earlier, there was really only three things other than that, I wanted. I wanted to have a good job, I wanted to be a mom, and I wanted to have a successful marriage. Those were my three main goals. I got a good job. I have a great son. I've never had a moment's problem with, to be honest.
Bless your heart.
Um, I'm really lucky. And as far as the marriage, I am now in what I consider to be a successful marriage. I had a previous one that wasn't. So I've kind of hit the goals that I had myself ultimately.
Okay. I was gonna say
You
you
know,
better say you in a successful marriage right now. You better say it with your chest.
no, I mean, no, really. Listen. But some people have really, really, really big dreams. They want to be the next. I don't know. I'll
Mhm.
say Taylor Swift, even though that's not who I'm thinking of. But again, I really wanted to be a backup singer. Yup,
Okay.
that
Would,
that's
would you like when you retire? Because you said you're going to be what 29 years on your job, right?
yeah. Next month I make 29.
So would you retire and then become a backup, like pursue that dream?
No, and the reason for that is the voice I had when I was much younger no longer exists. I've had a couple of bouts of laryngitis and different things. I really just cannot
Wow.
sing like I used to.
Mhm.
It's just not there anymore. I mean, and honestly, if I could live, I don't want to say if I could live this life over. I'm not going to say that because this is the life I was meant to have. But if I could have a second, I guess a second chance, that would be something I would, yeah. If I was to wake up tomorrow and was able to sing, heck yeah, heck
Mhm.
yeah, heck yeah. But
Come,
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I can't sing a lick now.
Mhm.
But you
come
know, it
on
is
with
what
the
it
heck
is.
yes. I think she's saying
Yeah,
yes. I think that's what she's saying.
yeah, yeah.
Let me just welcome some more people in. Welcome in. Dr. E is in the building. The Monday Beyond the Mic Queen hostess is here. Good to see you, sis. Glad you made it. We just warming up, chit chatting a little bit because everybody's very demure and low key right now. So before we get spicy, we want to, show our lady side. Let's see. The juggling mommy says God's doing His own thing with me. Amen. Amen. I think He's doing His own thing. I think we
Amen.
all agree with that. He is doing His own thing with us because Lord knows none of us saw ourselves see it. She also says the pivot is so important. It really, really is. I think we fight against that so much in making that change. Um, we exert so much energy. It's to the point where by the time we get into the pivot, we're exhausted. You
Mhm.
know, you're like, okay, fine, you win. We keep trying, but that's also a good place to get to, I believe, because then everything else is out of you and you understand there's nowhere else to go but forward in this thing that I want now. It's
I
nothing else to
wanted
do
to, I'm so sorry.
but go forward. No, 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 go ahead.
I wanted to talk. I'm glad she brought up pivot. As soon as she said pivot, it just came to my mind. Um, Life has a funny way of thrusting you into a pivot. Sometimes we don't want to. Um, Being an entrepreneur and doing one business aspect just a few months ago, maybe about 6 months ago, and now I'm doing something totally different. Now I wasn't gonna say I'm not gonna go into too deep. We'll talk about that on the side, Don. But God has me pivoting somewhere else. Um, and I know not everybody here believes in God, but we can say the universe or whatever you believe in. But
Listen, you tell
life
your
has a
truth.
way of thrusting you. But I personally have been avoiding this call that God has placed on my life. And essentially, right now, I've put it on, put it off, put it off, put it off. And now I am cornered into pivoting.
Mhm.
So I knew I should have been doing what I was supposed to do, study for this specific licensure. And what I'm learning is, especially as women, right now, actually, I help people write books. I've inspired people to write books, and people have actually hired me
Mhm.
to help them
Come
publish
on.
and write their own books. And I have this woman, I don't want to give away too much of her book, but it's called Encumbrant. That's the book that I'm helping her write. And it's about Mary and Martha and these two different women. And I promise I won't bore you guys to death, but I'm going to tell you something very interesting. We each have a little bit of Mary and Martha in us, where some of us want to be at the feet of the master, and then some of us want to be in the kitchen doing hospitality. I'm the hospitality type, I'm the welcoming and inviting type. But sometimes we have to be at the foot of the master. And right now, I have been put on a screeching halt. So that's why I was saying I'm actually shocked that I'm not where I am supposed to be. Well, I'm sorry. I am shocked that 10 years ago I didn't imagine myself to be here, because I've always wanted to be like a wife and a mother, and I've always wanted to have like 10 kids. I absolutely love kids. I
Mm.
actually want to be a teacher. But then my parents were like, "You're not going to be a teacher." I'm glad I listened to their advice, because I mentor students, and I mentor some of the most amazing students who come from different backgrounds. But would I want to deal with those types of kids all day? Not really. Hats down to you, teachers. I salute you guys. But what I'm learning is that life will force you into a pivot, whether or not you want to. And especially us as women, I feel like we pivot a lot because a lot of responsibility comes upon us as motherhood, career changes. Sometimes when you get married and you get pregnant, you can't work depending on how bad the pregnancy is. we go through a lot of changes. Not that men don't either. Men go through their own stuff, but as women, we go through the stage of puberty, where we start finding out that we have a menstrual. Then we go through our 20s, where we start developing more of a womanhood of where we want to be. Then we go through premenopause, then we go through menopause. So it's like we pivot. We're always consistently pivoting in our emotions, especially if you have a menstrual every month. Your emotions are doing this. Like at the beginning of the month, you might be grouchy. The next time you might. So life has a way of making you pivot, especially as women. I feel like we pivot a lot. Not saying that men don't do it, but I feel like as women, we have to make that quick pivot.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right, and and no offense to you men, but we talking about us tonight, so don't feel bad. It's the ladies' room. We have a girls' chat, talk about us, it's about what we go through. We don't have to, and we say these things unapologetically tonight. We gonna say them with our chest, without apology. Men, we are not comparing our pivots to yours. We're talking about how much we pivot. Okay. If you don't know how much we pivot, you will never know how much we pivot because y'all not us. Okay? You pivot your way. For every one pivot y'all do, we do 16. Okay? I'm just saying. So don't worry. I can't hear you, Theo.
Mm-hmm. I'm not talking. I wasn't talking.
Why you not? Oh, okay. No, I was saying, what say you about this pivot?
Okay. I was like, no. I mean, I think we definitely pivot. Right? There's so many things. Right? Menopause and just becoming an empty nester, right? There are all these different things that happen throughout life that creates a pivot. And it's interesting because usually when I'm working with clients, right, I'm like, when you're thinking about that goal or that thing that you're trying to do, you also have to think about the potential obstacles or challenges that might come up, right? Because then when you are faced with something, it's easier for you to kind of adjust and pivot, right? I think most people set a goal and their eye is on that goal, and then if something happens, they get stuck. But if you stop to think about, something might come up, it may not or it might not, but what would I do if this happens, right? Like right now, I will tell you, there are so many people right now, especially in the space of DEI, right, that have had to pivot. Right, because if you were in a role in an organization, it's possible that it got cut, right? Or they changed it and named it something else. If you're running a small boutique business that focuses on that, as an entrepreneur, you have to pivot, right? Because now, how am I going to exist in this land, in this arena, right? So, to the point that Kenya made, I think also as entrepreneurs, in the back of our head, we always got to be ready, right? Because there's always at some point a dry season, right? When you might not have a client or you might have something going on, nothing going on. You have to become like a master at pivoting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's true. And I think with that, and I love that. Oh, hold on one second. Because the queen came in the building, so I have to stop.
Mama Rosa.
Hi, mommy. Welcome in. That's my mama, y'all. She says, good evening, ladies. No apologies. That's right. We're not apologizing for nothing at all. Not tonight. Okay? Now, we may say, well, I don't know if we'll be sorry tomorrow. I don't know. But for tonight, we're not. Welcome in, Mom. I think it's so important that we, ladies, we deny ourselves so much. We talk ourselves out of so much. And again, this is not the men's turn, so we don't want to hear about what about the men. I don't want to say it that way, but I'm saying it that way, okay? We talk about the ladies tonight. We are talking to us tonight. It's us against us tonight, okay? We deny ourselves so much, so often, and it costs us more in who we are. And this is how we become very, I believe, very dissatisfied. We become very bitter. We can become complacent with just mediocre or less than basic or less than average, because we are constantly adjusting ourselves to adjust to other people and other things around us. We are willing, exactly, to, we make compromises, you know, we take down, we've all been there, you know, and we've all done that. But there comes a time that we have to get to the place where we are doing everything to fulfill ourselves. When we don't, you know, when we don't, we're not, we're doing a disservice to us and to everyone around us, because we're not even showing up 100% of who we are.
But we're also doing a disservice to God, because I feel like there are a lot of times that we put him in a box, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we limit him by not believing that we can do whatever it is that we want to do, right? Like, and so I think sometimes we limit ourselves by putting ourselves in a box. Like, we're in this little box, we get stuck. But we also limit God, I think, as well, right? Because some of us don't believe bigger than we actually should be believing.
We should, and it's about you. And these are the things, I think, women, we have to start breaking these cycles within ourselves that allow us to, it becomes commonplace. It's second nature, to the point where you pursuing everything that you want to be, and you pursuing being the number one or the top of your field or the best in your area is now almost like a discredit. You know, like you feel guilty about being it, you know, because the first thing that enters into our minds is what people will think about us. You know, I don't want anybody to think that I think that I'm better than they are. Well, listen, if they do, let them. So be it. That's not a us thing. That's a them thing. You know, we can't continue to take that on, so we do less or we shadow ourselves instead of standing up tall, you know, and being who we are. That's a lesson that I had to learn within myself. Let's see. Hold on, guys. Yes, please, let's get these thumbs up higher. All right. If you are watching, or for everyone watching, please hit that thumbs up button. Please, sir. Please, man. We appreciate it so much. Take a moment. Just click it real quick. I promise you, it's not going to hurt. I promise you. I promise you. We appreciate it so very much. And we would love it if you would. And the juggling mommy says, next time I'm dragging the brothers here, they need to hear all of this. Yes, ma'am. Yes, they do. And that's one of the things, men, you know, if they're listening and coming in, to lean in and hear, because these are things that we don't voice quite often, but we walk around with. These are some of the things that we carry with us into the shower. You know, there's some of the things that we sit with when we're sitting outside in our car before going into the house. And it's because we're carrying other people's opinions and thoughts that we need to free ourselves of. Because inside you want, what is wrong with being the best woman that you can be? But you know, there's absolutely nothing wrong.
I don't want to cut you off, but every time I hear Mama Rosa say she's going to study or do homework, right? Like my heart like jumps, like it leaps, right? Because that is a testament to the fact that it is never too late. Because I think that's another thing that happens with women, right? Is that we think I'm too old to do this, or I can't pivot, or I can't do this now. It's too late for me to get started, right? And so I just like, so it's like every time I hear, I'm like, you know, it's so great because it's a testament to, and I also have a friend, like she has, her brand is Seasoned and Fabulous, right? And that is one of the things that she really focuses on, is helping women that are like 50 and above realize that your life is not over. Like you could still do whatever it is that you desire to do, right? Whether it's go back to school, whether it's to write a book, whether it's to whatever, right? And so I think that's another thing we as women have to recognize as well, in addition to being able to pivot, is that it's never too late to pursue that dream or that goal or that vision that you have for your life.
Right,
Well,
your
you know,
dream don't die out. Go ahead, Tosh. I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry, I was gonna say, you know, we have to be thankful that we are hopefully continuing to live at a time frame that women are even allowed to do some of the things that we want to do. And we're getting ready to go into a bottleneck, into a time where I think a lot of stuff is getting ready to be taken away from us again. But, you know, just 40, 50 years ago, we couldn't have a checking account without a man's permission. You know, we were discouraged from going to school to learn anything that was outside of maintaining a household. If we were interested in anything that wasn't about being you know, a stay-at-home mom or having babies, all of that was discouraged. And luckily, we, like you said, pivoted time. You know, things pivoted into a realm where we were encouraged to get an education, get a good job, excel and succeed at that job, to move forward and in different areas. You know, unfortunately, again, some of those things, unfortunately, I think are getting ready to be, again, I'll just say taken away. And it's really, I think we're getting ready to go into we're getting ready to go into a sad era as far as our rights. But the fact that we have them now, we need to really grasp on that and take advantage of them while it's still available.
And that's, you know, thank you for that share. And that's a very real thing, you know, something that we deal with and we encounter. And, you know, one of the things that I thought about, well, let me read these comments first before we get into more dialogue. And thank you guys for sharing, for your shares, for your comments. It is ladies' night. We are having girls chat. Sometimes we have to slow down the pace and really have conversation, because we need to do self checks with each other, especially in this daytime, in this climate. You know, there's a lot that's going on and we have a lot of decisions that we have to make. But even beyond that, you know, we might be in this for now. And, you know, when we make it through it, because we will make it through it, what are we going to do and what are we going to be after this? You know, everything is just for a time. So, you know, ladies, we got to really get our whole selves together and in order. Juggling Mommy says, yes, stop feeling bad about putting yourself first, ladies. You know, we do. And I mean, I'm sure for the ladies that are here, if you've ever experienced that, you know, put a one in the chat. Let us know. You know we're here to talk and help each other, because you'll find that you are not alone. I know for a long time, and my mom is in the chat, Pastor Rosa, you know, she would get on me all the time because I would never show up. I could get 100 and I would get like a 98 on purpose, just because I didn't want to get 100. Just because I didn't want to hear, you know, the comments that would come after it. Just because I didn't want to deal with, you know, being the smartest one. And not just that, but the responsibilities. Once you are performing at a certain level and a certain peak, people expect that from you all the time. And sometimes we run away from that responsibility, the responsibility of being responsible, the responsibility of being at the top of our game. But if you have what it takes to get there, then you can absolutely do what needs to be done. You already have the tools that you need to remain there. It's just we have to believe in ourselves, you know. And that was that time where I didn't, you know, I wasn't that confident in myself. I could have done 1,000,001 things, but I wasn't confident in myself. I really did not. I didn't want anyone to require something of me, you know. Juggling Mommy says, don't dim your lights. Don't dim your lights. And I think the last time we were on, or one time before, Keena mentioned that before. You know, don't dim your light. Don't be less. Why do we have to be less? Does our being less really make room for someone else to be more? Me being everything that I am has nothing to do with the space that you're in. And I think we as women, on the other side of that, and this is where it's gonna start, you know, getting a little, we're gonna start getting a little spicy with these two comments. Pastor Rosa says, I understand what you said, Tasha, but honestly, what I did was prioritized and waited. We had a conversation and he understood that I was going to do me. I just waited. I didn't need permission. You know, that's mom's experience. Dr. Elaine says most people are fear the success and not the failure, because you are now in the spotlight. Exactly. And it's hot in the spotlight.
Yeah.
It's really hot. You know.
I mean, I think for me though, it was, you know, although they probably thought it was in fun and whatever, it was growing up with cousins calling me like the brainiac and the bicycle life, right? Because I started reading before I started kindergarten, right? Like I loved school. I was, you know, I was considered the little, you know, nerdy kid, always in the top class, right? And so I think for me, there came a point where just trying to fit into my cousin circle, right? That sometimes, like being told, oh, you talk, why are you talking white, right? Which I don't know what that means, but
I don't know what that is.
Right. But you know, and so I had to get out of that. Like I had to get that out of my head, right? And be okay with, you know, being who I was, because I like to learn and I love to, you know, just continue to learn and grow and all of that. So, you know, I think there are so many things that sometimes shape how we show up.
True.
Yes.
And that is true, because
Sorry, I do apologize. Purplebookclub.com is where you can purchase my books, not on Amazon. Please do not, absolutely do not go on Amazon and buy my book. I do apologize. Purplebookclub.com is where you want to purchase my books.
we will fix that for you. Thank you.
I was about to like get on my cell phone and get on the live.
No, and you can do that.
www.purplebookclub.com is where you can purchase my books.
All right, and they will fix that for you. Absolutely.
It is on Amazon, but I prefer you guys not to do that.
Okay, no problem. We got it. We got it for you. Either wherever you would like for us to go to purchase your book is where we going. So we will get that fixed for you.
I do apologize, you guys, for cutting you guys off.
No, you're good. You're good. Thank you for the correction. Look who's in the building, Mr. Courageous himself. AJW's in the house. Say good evening, family. We are glad you are here, brother. Juggling Mommy says, hey, brother Justin. You know, thank you for that and for letting us know.
Cool.
It's funny to me how we carry the thoughts of what you mentioned, Theo. We will be less, we'll show up less in our work environments, in our churches, in some senses, and spaces like that, because we still carry those comments that were made to us. We'll show up less in those spaces, but when it comes to relationships, then we try to show up perfected. We try to show up 100%. You know, we try to show up being all the things. So it's just funny to me how that switch goes. You know, when I'm on it, like I want him to see everything that I am, all the good things, I want him to know all of the, you know, that I am this and I am that, and I can do this, and this is how I handle that. And honey, you know, listen, you bring me home a chicken, I'm gonna make you a whole, you know, 7-course meal. You know what I'm saying? Like you bring home grapes, I'm gonna stomp them and make them wine. I'm gonna show you all the things that I am and that I can be. But we don't bring that energy, that same energy, to when it comes to us showing up in workspaces and, like you said, pursuing the entrepreneurial road. You know, what is that switch in us, ladies, that doesn't allow us to move? Like, have you ever thought about why is it? I
actually show up. I am more confident. My confidence shows up more in my professional life. Right. So for me, it has always been when I am in that realm and when I'm in that space, when I'm in that zone, right, of my craft, right, I'm very confident. I think that the place where I had to really learn and grow is on the personal side, right? It's being as confident on the personal side as I was, you know, on the other side, right? But because if we're talking HR, we're talking, you know, like intention, like all of that stuff. I'm here, right? Like, but I had to really work on having that same level of confidence
Hmm.
in my personal life.
Okay. All right. I can agree with that. I can see that. I totally get that. So, Tasha and Keena, where do you show up 100%? Are you like Coach Theo, where the 100% that you are and on your game is more on the professional side or more in the relationship side, or are you balanced?
I'm actually balanced. I think when I was here last time, I talked about don't shrink yourself. That's the word you're looking
Mhm.
for. Don't
There
shrink
you go.
yourself. I believe, of course, I've talked about the story about the loss of my daughter, and um, I learned that a lot of times as women, we make excuses as to why we cannot pursue the relationship that we want, whether it's friendship with a man or the business relationships we want. And recently, if you guys go on my Facebook page, I met a multi-billionaire CEO, and I did a talk like publicly, and I read both of his books, and now him and I are actually friends. I have contact with him. He's now my friend on Facebook. He bought my daughter's books. He's telling people about me. We're friends on LinkedIn. So what I'm learning is that um strength, just be yourself, just be who you are. If people do not accept you for who you are or what you bring to the table, I know a lot of people don't like the table word, I don't mind using the table word, but if people cannot accept you nor receive you for who you are, as you are, and how you were created uniquely beautiful, whether you're skinny, whether you're big, whether you're curvaceous, whether you're scrumptious, whether you're white, black, Hispanic, whatever you are, keep it pushing. They don't deserve you, especially if you're bringing your best self forward. Also, I think that as women, we've seen those stories. They're like, well, you're an anomaly. I do not believe that. I believe that women who have 2 kids, 0 kids, 5 kids, 10 kids will get the man of their dreams if they're patient with themselves and put their confidence out there. I don't believe I stopped myself personally. I pretty much stopped tolerating anything. Like if you don't like me for who I am as a friend, as a business owner, as a person, as a Haitian American first generation graduate, I'm
Deuce.
serious. Like I'll just deuces. I don't have to reduce myself to make you feel comfortable because you're not happy with yourself. Why do I have to stop being me because you have a problem with yourself? As long as I'm being transparent, I'm being honest, I'm being my true self, I believe that people will accept you more.
Mhm.
And pretty much when I've come to that resolve, I've realized the people who don't like me pretty much have a problem with themselves. It's not nothing that I did or said. As long as I'm not acting inappropriately and I'm not insulting them or disrespecting them and crossing their boundaries, there should be no reason why I can't be civilized with you and we can't be civilized with each other or cordial. We don't have to go out and, do our toenails together or like go do a pedicure. But I think that we can all get along respectfully. And if a person doesn't like me, okay, bye.
Right. Everybody's
That's
not
what it
made.
is. I just got to that point.
Yeah, everybody's not made for everybody. You want to share
Right.
Tasha, before I read some comments?
Tasha, you
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Basically, ditto what Kenya said. Um, as of listen, as I've gotten older, I realize that everybody's not going to like you, and I try to be the same person at work as I am at home, as I am with my friends, as I am with acquaintances, whether it's with strangers. I'm the same person, and I don't have the energy to flip back and forth between what you want from me and who I really am. You know, people are going to like you and they're not going to like you. Sometimes they're not going to like you just because it may not even be a logical reason. They just get that feeling, and it is what it is. That's fine. And you may love a person just right off the bat. That's fine too. But you know what? You have to get to a point in your maturity that you have to accept that not everybody's going to like you. And I know that's definitely been one of my little foibles, that it's hard for me to accept when someone doesn't like me and I haven't done anything to them. But you know what? I've been on this earth almost 60 years and I realize that's how people are. And it is what it is. And it's not going to change. That's how humans are. So I present myself the same, whether you are a CEO or whether you are a janitor. I do not care. I speak to you the same
Boy.
with respect. But if I want to be jokey, jokey, I'm going to be jokey, jokey. And if I'm going to be serious, whatever it is that I'm putting forth at that time is always the same, Natasha.
Now I can vouch for that. That much is true. You know, but let me say that
That's so good. I love it.
I think one of the things that we have to keep in mind and remember is this. Just because everybody doesn't like you doesn't mean that you're not likable. You know, that's the thing. And you can't let just one person's opinions or thoughts override who
Can
you
you repeat that part again? Rewind that. The likable part. I need to save that for notes.
Look, just because someone does not like you does not mean you are not likable.
Right. Right.
That's not
But when you're a young person, you don't you think the opposite.
I don't even think it. Listen, there's some of us that are grown that think that have that mentality at this big old age. As I say, we are still walking around with the mentality that because this one person don't like me, you going home stressing about it. Don't want to go to work tomorrow about it. That person going on about their business, and we are still sitting here. And that thing is, it doesn't even living rent free in your head, you know. But it's attached itself to your spirit and to your heart, and stressing over. Who cares?
But
It doesn't mean you're not likable. We have to stop allowing that one person.
You know what's so crazy though is I don't want people to like me. Honestly, like my sister jokes all the time because I'm the person that be like, I don't really need no new friends, right? I don't really need like I'm good, right? You know, but people always end up liking me. Right? So, but it's crazy because for me, like I'm totally like that, like because people you could just breathe the wrong way and someone might not like you, right? So I'm like, I don't really have time for that. Like honestly, the more people that like me, the more overwhelming it becomes, right? Because not that all these people, you know, liking me, right? But
It's true. Oh wait, so let me read these. As a brother got jokes. He said, "No new friends" by Drake. That's your theme song now. No new friends. Dr. Elaine says, "We've been trained to show up professionally because it's tied to performance reviews, bonuses, promotions, and or our paycheck." And that is true. But then that lets me know that we are selective about where we. It's not that you don't know who you are. It's not that you don't know how amazing and dope you are. We are choosing those spaces. We are choosing to put ourselves behind, you know, because it maybe it's not, you know, in the professional space where these things are attached to it. But showing up totally in who you are as a person, we've got to get out of that mindset of it being performance based. And I think a lot of it has to do with how we relate men and women, because there's this competition that goes on within women. The juggling mommy, and I'm gonna get on that in 1 second. Juggling mommy says, "I grew up a tomboy, so I don't give a damn about that." Okay. She said it with her chest. I ain't mad at you, sis. I'm not mad at you. She also says it's fear of not being seen or referred to as being a man or aggressive. I want us to touch on that. Also, she also says, "I'm losing zero sleep over whether or not you like me. I got better things to worry about." And we all have to have that mentality. And it's not to say that, you know, we can get along without having to be the best of friends, without having to be chummy. Why do we always think that everyone has to? That's a burden and a weight that we put on ourselves. It's a self-acceptance is a personal job. It has nothing to do with everybody else. It's you being you.
But everybody, you shouldn't want everybody to be your friend, right? Because everybody doesn't have pure motives, right?
Everybody don't like vanilla. Don't mean the
Exactly.
vanilla is not good. It just
I
means
mean,
you.
like that's a pet peeve of mine. Like, don't like, and like, you know me a week and you calling me my friend. Nah, maybe we're associates, right?
Right. Because
You know?
friendship is built. We need some time. I need you to get some billable hours. Um,
Yeah.
d-
And
d-
I would have to agree.
we already went there. Justin said Juggling Mommy sounds like she should be on the next panel. And I agree. And I said that early on. We're gonna get her up here with the ladies. Absolutely. Um, but I wanna touch on two things. The first thing is I wanna kind of touch on why we as women, this, I don't even want to call it the concept, but this need for competition. Because we not gonna be demure no more. We gonna get down to the get down. If we can get over this competitive spirit that comes with us as women, when we don't like someone who walks into the room just because they walked into a room, and we've all been on both sides of this coin, if
Mhm.
we're honest.
Mhm.
Um, we gain nothing. Again, said it before. You lose nothing from me being 100% Dawn
Yep.
because I can't occupy your space at all. I feel the root of this competition that we as women have to get over and have to get through is because when we see a confident woman walk in the room, we are disturbed by her confidence because it shows our lack. There's something that she's showing or that she may be doing that we see we are not. And if we're honest with ourselves, we will admit that. And I've been in that space. Like I've been in that, I'm just on both sides of it. But we have to understand that I'm not in competition with her. She did her thing and showed up how she showed up. Now I need to do my thing and show up how I need to show up. But if I'm not putting my best foot forward, that is not her fault. That is a me thing.
Well,
So
yeah,
go ahead.
I will honestly say, I think in this realm, I'm blessed because and that's why I say everybody's not your friend, right? Because the people that are in my circles, and I have different circles, we don't compete. Like I work with other coaches, right? I collaborate with other coaches. I collaborate with other HR professionals, right? Having my business, right? I do HR consulting and coaching. I have one of my girls. She's like, yeah, I'm doing the same thing, but I don't want to do all of that. I'm like, okay, we'll put you under me, right? I'll build you on my site. I will build you a session on my website. She is now there. So she can do her business, but she'll fall up under my LLC, right? Because that's what real women do. Real women collaborate. Real women pull each other up. Real women, right? We bring each other on, right? We're not competing. If we could collaborate on a book. How many books have we collaborated on, right? So
I wanted to touch on what you said, Theodore, because you said something so beautiful. Of course, Lady Dawn knows me. We've met, we've talked outside, like just spoken. And I'm just gonna share I'm gonna air out my dirty laundry. I used to be, believe it or not, I used to be 300 pounds. And so I used to be a very big girl. And I would look down on women because who were thinner than me when I was at that stage because I was unhappy with myself. So I'm talking about me. I don't know about nobody else. I'm talking about Kina.
Mhm.
And so because I was unhappy with Kina and her weight, and then my health became an issue. I had I had pre hypertension and all this stuff. Instead of accepting and receiving the feedback that was being told to me by medical professionals and family members who knew me, because even throughout high school, I wasn't a big girl. I was not big. I ended up becoming big due to stress and life
Mm.
choices. instead of receiving Kina for who she was and say, okay, these 300 pounds is something that you did to yourself, you got yourself here. I was hating on women who had nothing to do with my personal issues. So I had to make a serious decision. This is like, like I said, I'm airing out my personal laundry.
So what?
And I was upset with women who were getting the type of men that I wanted and the men that were talking to them because I was overweight. I had a self-esteem issue and I had personal issues within, and I did not love Kina. So I made it the fault of other women, like, oh, she just mad or she hating. But the truth was, I was hating on them.
Yeah.
So what I decided to do was start doing a actualization and a self-reflection and saying, wait, she didn't do nothing to me. And I had to start working on myself and realizing my health was the problem. I was mad at myself. I was mad at the world. I was mad at my marriage to my ex-husband. At the time I had a child, I was a single mom. I was mad at my decisions. My decisions got here. Not, and I'm just an example, Lady Dawn. It wasn't Lady Dawn's decision that I got here. It was decisions that I made, poor choices that Kina made that got her here. Once I decided to accept that Kina made poor decisions, some things were out of my control, but the things that were in my control, my weight was in my control. The way I woke up on the wrong or right side of the bed was my control. Whether or not I decided to wake up and smile and treat people right was in my control. I can't control that somebody had a stink attitude, but I could control my attitude. Once I started, working out, going to the gym. At the time I started going to the gym, then I stopped going to the gym. I just started just doing regular weights, using my weight training towards my body. So using my body as the weight part. I started feeling better about myself. And what I learned is a lot of times we what's the word I want to put? We put our perceptions, our reality on other people and accuse other people of things that they're not really doing. Half the time it's in our head. I'm just going to say it. Most of the time it's in your head. It's right here. It's nobody else. It's you putting it in your head, thinking. Sometimes the person don't actually, somebody confronted me about this. They waved to me. I'm looking way over here on South Beach, but they waving to me. I didn't see them, but they were mad at me. Instead of coming to me and saying, hey, I waved at you. Did you not see me? They went and starting rumors about me. And I'm like, wait, you waved at me? I didn't even see you. So a lot of times, a lot of these issues could be squashed if we either come and talk to the person and have that conversation and saying, hey, is everything all right? Yeah, we good. Sometimes people have personal things that are going on, but I had to learn that a lot of the things, a lot of times we as women, we're going through it because we put ourselves in those situations. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those people that used to have a wild imagination. I would just drift off into the moon. Like it wasn't even that. The scenario wasn't even that. I created a whole big storyline that went down the rabbit hole.
You had a screen
movie playing in your head, the whole thing from beginning to end. All right, and that's what we do.
We do.
And it's like, but we have to. That is more detrimental and harmful to us because then we become the very person that we despise, the very person, because then you become the mean girl that you're thinking that the other person is, and it's not them. Yeah. It's us. It's a, go ahead, Tasha.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I think ultimately, and I'm going to say for young Black women, and I'm only speaking I'm only saying young Black women because that's all I know. I'm a Black woman. We have a lot of insecurities. And I think that, and I'm not picking on Black women. I don't mean that. I'm just saying that because I'm coming from my point of view as a Black woman.
Yeah.
It's insecurities. Yeah. That's really what it boils down to. I don't care if you're a man, woman, black, white, cat, dog. If you're insecure with yourself, whether it's something having to do with yourself or people around you making you feel insecure, you tend to take it out on other people. And I think that has a lot to do with why we are so competitive with each other, especially when it comes to men, which is ridiculous.
Let's talk about
You
it.
know, when you see these women fighting other women
Yep. Oh my.
because the man, why you fighting her? He's the problem.
Yep.
Now, true, she might have known he had a woman or was married, whatever the situation is, but ultimately he's the problem. But you want to jump in her face
Yep.
and fight her or either get physical, get violent, or even just get verbal, whatever the case may be, and then go back to that same man
Mm-hmm.
instead of you dealing with the problem, which is the man. You know, why are you taking out your insecurity on the other woman? The insecurity is within your relationship, not with this woman.
Yep.
Or just like when you work in an office. Oh, I don't like working in offices. I'm so happy to be in my box. It's not even funny. Because when you work in an office with other women, let there be 5 women and 2 men. Oh my gosh. It's a problem. And those 2 men may not be what you would call 10s. They may not even be 3s. But the fact that they are men and there's
And not
5 other women there, it's
not
a
a-
competition.
Up.
And they become an HR problem.
I mean, really. I'm so happy to be in my little box of transit and not have to deal with that for the last 30 years. Oh my, you don't know how much that means to me. You know, unfortunately, I come from a generation where I don't want to say generation, but I come from a household where I was not encouraged. I was not, I didn't have a lot of foundation. So I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself. But never did I look at someone else and because I felt that, and maybe they were prettier than me, shapelier than me, whatever than me, that I disliked them because of it. Now, did I dislike you because you had a funky attitude, or you were just nasty with people, or you just generally wasn't a nice person? Absolutely. But not because if I looked at you and say, wow, she's really pretty, and it make me feel bad because you're pretty, or because you're tall, because I'm short, or whatever it is that's opposite to me. And we carry those burdens from childhood all the way into adulthood.
And
then you have,
that's true.
I'm sorry, I'm going to say this real quick. And then you have women who are very confident, legitimately, but they weaponize it against other women.
Mm-hmm.
So that's on the other side of the coin of being confident. There's nothing wrong with being confident, but then why are you weaponizing it against other women, putting other women down because they're not like you, not as attractive as you, don't have the same jewelry as you, or the same hairstyle or hair texture or color as you? So you have these things that society finds valuable, and then you weaponize it against other women.
Well, first,
and first of all, you said as attractive as you think you are, because some of the people,
well, yeah,
right, because it's subjective.
Some of these women be lying. They be in denial. I ain't gonna
Right.
lie. Let me be quiet. Let me hush.
but
Well, listen. Let me just say, first of all, I need you to be at least a 5 if I'm gonna even consider fighting over you. We ain't having no discussions. You not even a 3? I can't do it. I can't do it.
I meant like I said, working in an office where there might be 2 3s who are men and 5 women, and it's a problem.
You do not have to define or clarify anything more. What you said was right and on point.
We all agree 3 is a 3.
We ain't even talking about you not even 3, sir, ma'am. Listen, sis, you can have him. There ain't no fight. This is not even a conversation.
But the sad part is it really happens, because you want to know why?
It does.
Listen, in the HR office.
Making a complaint. Look, sis, go get your 3 and y'all go home. Matter of fact, dinner's on me. You and your 3, y'all go. I want y'all to have a great time. Have some drinks. Maybe you'll get
chaperone. Make sure it go well.
Get right. Make sure y'all good. But I love what you said, and it's true.
Everything was so true.
It's true, and I love what this is my takeaway from what she said to the men. You're the problem. Me,
that's all you got out of it. That's all you got out of it.
Okay, because why? Listen, sis, I didn't choose me over you. He chose me over you, so I'm not your issue. Like, what we doing? You know, it's like, and for me, I'm like, and if he chose you over me, sis, you can have him. I would listen. Go be great together. Go be great together. But I'm not going to allow you to be my issue. I'm not going to allow, and I'm not going to allow this to make me feel like I am less than valuable or less than worthy or less than deserving, you know, or any of the less thans. It's just not. It's go be great together. Just be great together over there. You know, we really have to stop. And these are things that we as women really don't want to sit down and talk about with each other, but we really do need to sit down and talk about it with each other, because we'll find out that we really don't have a problem. You know, they really, what is the problem? The problem is not me and you. As Keena said, the problem is you. The problem is me. You know, I'm the problem. And that's why we don't want, because it's easier for us to blame other people, other women. No, Ma, if she came and dressed how she came dressed, guess what? That has nothing to do with you. That's how she came. You know, it's nothing to do with that. You know, we have to get over this competitive spirit, this competitive attitude, like there's not enough. And I think I think it does stem from the root in it is because of men. And not that we're blaming men, but it's the perception of women, how we perceive men. You know, and what we want to be, that one woman that every man wants. Well, what are you going to do with every man, sis? What are you going to do?
I've never wanted to be that. Who knew?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, just let me welcome one. Just like, hey, welcome in, Moose, Be Strength, Poet, and Be Strength. Listen, y'all need to go catch the replay from last week, because the men was doing their thing. It was fire. Listen, and we just having a conversation on tonight. Keena, don't lose your thought, because I'm coming right to you. Juggling Mommy says, yes, I don't want anybody's lane but my own. Absolutely not. Listen, I'm working on my own lane, okay? I got my own stuff to do. Poet Moose Be Strength says, I think that's really healing of you to recognize that. I believe he was referring to part of what Keena said. Yeah. Juggling Mommy says, yep. It be in our head all the time. We have full-blown conversations. We have series. We have sequels. You know, we look. I'm gonna say this, and she's gonna say that, and when she does this, this is what I'm gonna do, and then I want her to say this. But if she don't say this, and she says that instead, you know, and then I'm gonna do it, and then watch, then he's gonna be like this, and we do the whole thing before anything ever happens. I'm gonna pull up. He said, "Hurt." Moose says, hurt people. That's right. Go sit down, hear yourself. Dr. Elaine says, trauma. Absolutely. Moose says, true. AJ says, why both cheaters ain't the problem? because tonight it's the ladies' room. And so you're the problem tonight. We just say it.
The woman doesn't know that she's cheating, because she don't know.
I think it's whoever brought the outside person into the situation, you're the problem. Yep. You're the problem. You know, Juggling Mommy says we got to stop communicating with each other in our mind. That's right. You know, listen, say it with your chest. Use your mouth. Say it with your chest. Let's see. Moose says, see, he's Moses to us here on the Bravo. Okay, he said we have to heal our women and girls. We do, yes, men. And I want to touch on that too, because men don't understand when women are reacting and responding or acting out sometimes a certain way. It is not coming out of nowhere. It is not just because she's just wired that way. Sometimes the most loud women, all they need, and I know that it can be hard, and I know that it can be difficult, and I know that it can be frustrating, but sometimes all she really wants someone to do is, number one, show up for her. Number two, hear her. Number three, embrace her. Number four, and I mean, when I say embrace, not just embrace, not so much physically, but embrace what she's saying. And number four, fight for her.
Mm.
Some women have never had anyone to fight for them, to say, I know you're going through it, but I'm still gonna be here. I'm still gonna stick with you. I'm gonna love you through this. Even if I don't know how to love you through it, I'm gonna figure out how to love you through it. And then just hug her, just hold her. Even if she's pushing you up, hug her until she decides she's gonna let you do it. Because
it's so important. It's so important.
It is. Hold on. I'm sorry. Juggling Mommy says, listen, it's ridiculous. I swear these women just bored because it makes no sense. Sometimes, it's so deep. A lot of it, because we're all walking around with hurt and trauma that we have band-aided for so many years that it becomes a part of who we are, but it's still never healed. And some of us don't know how. There's some things like, I don't want to feel like this, but I don't know how to feel anything else but this, because it's what I know now. Moose says we have to build a community where they see this type of understanding, this type of healed talk. AJ says, I'm just here so I don't get fired. You know what, AJ?
Just for that, you get fined.
Theo said you're going to get fined, but you just... Then Mommy said, Justin, you still paying them. Okay, see? See, no, we not doing this today. We ain't doing this today, Justin. We ain't doing it last week. We ain't doing it. He said, of course, the men are the problem. So we not going. He said, now you better, right, Juggling Mommy, and you better be a 10 plus to get me to consider it. Still ain't fighting for you physically.
Exactly.
Listen, nobody's doing that. So who's stroking your ego like that? Not me. Said, no, it's the men. Okay, let's see where we at. Justin, you heard her. The men are the problem. It's y'all. That's what Tasha said. Said, I think ignorance is the problem. It is. There's a lot of unspoken, unknown, and ignorance is just not knowing. But are we really willing to take the time? This is the thing. We have to learn how to pause to learn each other.
Let me say this, right? So this past weekend, I went to Florida, right? And it's a group of HR professionals. We all have been executives at some point in time, and we formed a group as support because African-American HR executives are not normal in the workforce, right? Mm. And it's become a friendship. So we still, and I will tell you that this weekend was so amazing because it's everything that we're talking about here, which are the opposite of it, which is the level of support we give each other is amazing, right? Not just from a professional realm, but now as friends, right? Like one night, like Saturday night, we just sat in the pool and just were talking, right? Of what we had, like sharing stuff like we probably hadn't shared with each other, right? Like what we have been going through, right? And it was so great to be able to share with a sister, friend, what you had gone through. They hear you, they listen, there's no judgment. They support you, they empathize, they feel you, right? And you don't leave there feeling like I just bared my soul and tomorrow everybody's gonna know it. Mm. Right? And I think that's important because that's another thing that is missing in the woman relationships, right? Is that sometimes you don't know who you can trust your deepest and darkest secrets to because you don't know where it's going to go.
Right.
That's true. That's true. But this is why I think, everybody does not have
a safe space.
So one thing I've come to realize, and I had to write this down, and I don't know what kind of message this is going to be. I don't know if I really don't, but I know it's something that I have to write out. Is can you handle my valley?
Mm-hmm. That's it. Yep, that's it.
Do you have the capacity to handle my valley? Because that's the space where I'm telling you the depths of, like you said, what I've been through, where I'm at, how I feel, without judgment. And that's, I think, one of the main parts, especially with women, without the judgment, without feeling like you're going to hear it again. um, without feeling like um, someone is, people are going to look at you differently, that the respect is lost. Um, and we as women, we do this to each other, or, I could be telling you my story and I'm willing to be open and share my story with you. And you want to judge me, but you've been through the same thing, since you just not willing to share it. Or you've been through it, you came out of it, you're not just over it, but you're through it and better because of it. But now you look down on every other woman that's still in that space, or every other woman that's experiencing, what you've experienced. We can't forget once we come out of something, you know, because when we were in it, how were we treated? When we were in it, what did we do? How did we move? How did we maneuver? That's one of the things that we have to consider. We should be able to embrace another sister who's going through what I went through. I have the key on how to make it out with your mind and your heart intact. I have the key on how to heal and heal whole and be able to show up healthy. But are we willing to share that with our sisters? Most often we're not, because now she becomes whole. Now again, we get back to that space of competition, of thinking she's gonna do better than me, be better than me, or whatever. And so we don't want to. We want people to heal halfway.
Yeah.
And we have to learn to be like, this space is a safe space for us to talk and share. This is a no judgment zone. We're talking these things out, bringing to the table, as we say, the root of some of the things, or trying to get down to it. Now the men are talking in the chat and we love it, but we're here to converse. We are sharing what happens in our minds and with us and our emotions, so that y'all can understand, really what goes on, and give some insight on how to help, so that we can understand when we're showing up this way. This is what we're going through. We may never say it out of our mouths, but this is what happens. Moose says, sounds like a perception issue with women, which means that women have to change how they think.
Can I was gonna say, before I forget the thought, if you don't
Mm-hmm.
mind me saying, 'cause it hits right where the perception to women, because we were talking about earlier about the men, like Miss Tasha was saying, um, there might be 3 men in the office, and then like they're all like between a 3 and a 5, and women are fighting over them. I had to get, and all of these tools that I'm sharing right now, and I'm glad we're having this conversation, are things that I personally, that's why I don't mind airing out my dirty laundry, because I do help other women, especially in the Christian arena, with these issues, because these are things I went through and I had to overcome. I actually struggled with, I know what the word is called. I just can't think about it right now. But I did not like to look at myself in the mirror. I had an issue with looking at myself in the mirror. I'm not a I don't wear makeup much. I don't really know how to put it on. Once in a blue moon, I'll put it on. But I think it's called body dysmorphia. I think it's called. But
Yes.
I actually suffered with that for a long time. Before I was married, I never struggled with looking at my body. I could be, please don't shun me out, but I could look at myself with no clothes on and be happy with myself. I was very satisfied with looking at my face. And then at whatever point in my life, during my marriage, I was struggling with self-esteem issues because I got overweight. I couldn't look at myself anymore in the mirror. I struggled. Even when I brushed my teeth, I would look down, I would look at the mirror, just anything. So then I realized at some point in my life, I don't know when I woke up and did it. It was way before I lost my daughter. I think after I lost the weight and I went through therapy, I realized that there are like 8 billion people on the planet, maybe about 3 or 4 billion men on this earth. Why am I stuck on one man? And a lot of times, we as women, we're saying there's not enough. We feel about that fear, lack, and scarcity. And it's like, okay, so I live in Florida, right? So I live right outside of Orlando. In my county alone, there's over like what 900,000 people in my county alone. So if I can't meet a man in my physical city, I can just jump to the next city and there's a man there. If I can't find a man in that city, there's I think what Florida has maybe about 52 counties. There's 52 counties in Florida. If I can't find nobody in Florida, there's Georgia, that's the next state, Alabama, then Mississippi, Louisiana below, and then we can keep going. We can go to Texas. We can go right up to New Mexico, Arizona, California. I'm literally listing out states that I could go and find people. Okay, let's forget about the United States. There's Canada, there's Mexico, there's South America. Then let's go into the Caribbean. So there are people all over the country, all over the world, and we're stuck on this one person. And then, and we forget that there are billions of other people on this planet. Like there's so many other men of different races, and the creator has made so many vast nationality. Now for Kina prefers her black men. I love me some chocolate. I love me some white. I love me some caramel chocolate. If it's a black man, I'm into it. Will I step out of my race if the right one comes? And if that's what God has in store. But there's so many black men in the planet. I have such a variety. I don't need to fight over one man. I've seen women literally fight over 7 women fighting over one man. Like there's no other on this planet. And like you said, it's a perception issue. It is an issue within self. And then I'm going to add this and then I'll let you guys have the floor. Another issue that I have as a woman, myself personally, that I struggled with for a long time. And that's why I said I am not deuces. See ya. Don't care. Women, like I can feel Theodore's spirit and I love her personality. I just love her energy. I could tell she educates women, and we probably get along in the same circles, and we probably walk away the same way, holding hands. I love educating people on things that I've learned, and I don't know you. Nobody told me nothing about you, but that's just what my spirit tells me. I love to educate people on what I learned. I do financial management. I am an accountant and a financial manager. That's what I went and got my master's degree. I know about credit repair. I know about taxes. I know about all this stuff. I'm trying to help you out, and the thing that really is nerve-wracking is that a lot of times as women, we do this to ourselves. I come and educate you and I help you get somewhere. You can't thank me, or you take it, you run with it, you keep it a secret, or we're keeping secrets from each other. Like it's a big secret. Like I can't Google or get this information, or if I help you, you can't raise me up and say, you know what? Thank you, Kina, for supporting me, or going out in public and saying, you know what, Kina helped me, or Theodora gave me some insight. Go to Theodora because I know she's a businesswoman. You don't need to go over here. She's thebomb.com. There was actually, and Lady Dawn knows what I'm talking about. I don't need to say her name publicly. There was a woman who helped me with taxes. I already was doing taxes before, but she's the one that start me and propelled me into having my own tax business. But I always, anytime I talk to people, people are like, how did you end up becoming who you are? I always talk about this young woman. She's a tax person, but I'm here because of her, because she believed in me and she gave me some tools. But it's like we have a problem with doing that. It's like if you do that, that's a bad thing. Like, why are you telling people that she did good for you? Because she did good for me. Why can't we raise it? Like it's like we have an issue with lifting each other up, especially.
There's a word for that. It's called gatekeeping.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's that, and it goes back to what we were talking about, right? That competition, right? So there's a difference between, like, we're collaborators, right? So
right.
In my world, I believe we could all win. Right? That's it. We could all win. But not a lot of people think like that. A lot of people, you know, that, like, one of my favorite sweatshirts says, "Me versus me. I'm my own competition." Right? Every day I'm trying to be better than I was the day before. Right? I'm not trying to, and that's with anybody. Like I met Justin, we click. He's like my little brother now, right? This weekend I just sent him something. I was like, yo, I was thinking about it. I created this for you. Here, take it. Right? That's what we do. We're supposed to lift each other up. We're supposed to collaborate.
That's the goal. You are the missing piece to what I need to get where I'm going. And maybe I can't give it back to you right now. But when I get where I'm going and I become, then I'm in a better position to give back to you, and it might be my turn to now pour into you because we elevate one another. And I would say Dr. Elaine is like,
God.
I call her the midwife, like for real. You know, I said, Lord, I don't know why you got me in this space, in this circle. I have no idea what I'm doing here, but I'm glad to be here. You know, because she just, you know, she takes you to another level, and every woman needs a woman to push her, to walk her through. We go wherever you are, we open doors.
Even
You know,
my girl,
when you open the door, when you open the door, hold it open
yeah.
for the next woman. Like, you know, it's not about what's the purpose of going if we're going alone.
Yeah.
You know, I want every woman to find the man of her. I don't know if it's dreams or nightmares. I don't know, whichever, you know, I'm not sure, whatever. I don't know. Some people's just different, you know, I'm just saying. But find that. It's like, sis, I ain't mad at you. I don't want what you, I don't. I'm not mad at it. I celebrate you. Like, we have to learn how to celebrate each other. And I think some of us, we are getting there. But what I won't do and what I refuse to do, what I will not allow to happen, is I will not commiserate with women. Like, men talk about all of these women's groups, and I say this I don't know why I'm stuck on this year. All of the women's groups and retreats and, you know, women's meetings, and let's have this revival. If you go on Facebook, you go on TikTok, everybody is hosting a revival, a service, or something, and women and talking and and everybody. But is anybody learning anything? Are we coming out of these spaces any better? If we were, we wouldn't need so many. No, why? Because we all just want to be heard.
Yeah.
We want you to come to our thing instead of, okay, we all want to be heard, because I get frustrated. That's why it frustrates me.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of us just wanting to learn. Like, I want to learn. Let me contribute. My name don't have to be on the banner for me to show up.
Yeah.
If I come to your thing and then I host the thing and then you come to mine, what's the point? Where are we actually getting the tools that we need, so we don't need so many women's meetings and so many women's fellowships and so many women's retreats and so many kumbaya moments? You know, we're not getting any better because these things are not, the content of them is not speaking to our issues.
And we just leave with a bunch of pamphlets and books and papers.
And
I stopped going. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
This is just me being transparent. I don't go to a lot of this stuff, and I tell people, if you invite me, it better be something serious, because I have too much to do, and as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, and I'm mentoring. I'm now in the school arenas. It gotta be, and I ask questions. Like, I do ask for the mission, the agenda, and all of that. Be like, well, when you get, no, I need to know. And it's no disrespect. I can learn from other women, especially older women. And I'm not saying, and that's what I believe. I believe that women who've walked the planet longer than me, at least a decade and a half to 2 decades, can enlighten me. But if we're like pretty much the same age, I've probably done more than you. I'm no disrespect. I've buried a child. I've been divorced. I've gone through some stuff. And I've gone through some serious business, and honestly, I've erected 3 businesses in the last 4 years. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear your life experience. Like, for example, Lady Dawn, Doctor, I think your coach, Carter, and Tasha, you guys been here longer than me. So what you guys have to contribute to me is good. Not that these retreats are bad, but a lot of times it's the same opinion that you had, like what you felt like you revealed, and it's nothing new. And then my money's going down the drain. And it's like, okay, but what did I learn? Like you said, you wrote a book. I wrote a book.
Yeah.
We've all wrote a book. But what did I learn? Can't we just collaborate? Like, can't you just sit one-on-one? Like, I'm just using you, Coach Carter. Can't we just collaborate one-on-one as sisters and say, hey, Kina, you know what? I think that you're a really smart woman, but I think that you could do something here, Let's sit and talk. You ain't got to go to a retreat for that. Because I mentor young girls. That's what I do. And I don't need my name on a banner, like you said. I can teach these teenage girls to be, you can make it. I went to a Title I school. So you could get out of this Title I school, go to college, get your degree and own your own business or get yourself a nice job. You can do it. If I did it, you can do it. I don't have to open up a Revival or a Seventh Facebook page to prove that I know something. There are people that just need my one-on-one collaboration that I could, help.
Yeah, I mean, but I think
If
it's also,
you don't,
you breaking up.
good.
Lady Dawn,
Yeah,
What'd you say?
I think you're frozen. Who's frozen?
Um,
Frozen?
You frozen.
yeah, you're frozen.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
Okay.
I think it's amazing,
I'm
but
back.
I also feel like, that I'm that person, right? I'm gonna collaborate, I'm gonna help you. We're gonna lift each other up. But also, I also feel like we have to recognize that we can also learn from the younger generation, right? So, being in HR right now, there's probably like 5 generations in a workforce, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things we have to recognize is that we got to be open to not only mentoring and coaching them, but also listening to them, right? Because in order for us to really help guide them, we have to understand them, right? And I think a lot of people don't recognize that, right? They want to, millennials this, millennials that, right? No, let's take a minute to figure out, right, what they're thinking, because some of these millennials, they're brilliant, right? And so that's where it starts, right? Because we want them to come behind us and be those women that collaborate and be better than us and be right. We don't want them to come up and be still struggling in this vein that we are struggling in. Like, we're not, I'm not going to say us, but some of us, because I think I have some pretty awesome circles, right? Like I have some awesome women in my life. Like, God has blessed me with some awesome circles. And I also don't have a problem letting go of people. Right.
That
So,
part.
Me and you both.
Yeah, we don't agree to that one.
so that's a big thing. But I also think in order for us to really mentor and coach those coming behind us, we have to understand them. And I think a lot of times we stand in judgment, right? So
I think
And you're
we,
speaking
and
the
I want
truth.
to, I want to make sure we get through the comments because they are talking and saying some good stuff here. So just want to pause for a second, ladies. But I think with that point of mentoring, because that was one of the things that the men got on last week. Like, I promise you, go watch that replay. It was so
yeah,
good.
I will.
awesome.
When it comes to the mentoring, I will say this, and then I need to read some comments. I'm probably about to light a fire and run away. But the thing is, we got to be ready to mentor. We have to have something to give, and some of us don't even have anything to give each other. It doesn't mean we have to have it all together. Like, at this big old age. Yeah. What we cannot do and what we cannot be is wounded women who are teaching young women how to enter life with our wounds.
Yeah.
We cannot be that.
Nope.
Because some of us are that.
Yeah.
Some of us have been taught by women who were wounded, and so that's their wound, their pain is what they taught us. They didn't teach us from a healed space. They're teaching us out of their hurt. Yep. And so we already grew up in spaces of defense, already not giving men or people an open chance, but instead we are entering into situations, into relationships of all kinds, into businesses and things like that with a defense that no one is here for me. I can't trust anyone. Just waiting for the other shoe to drop. Just looking, we are creating self-fulfilling prophecies. So I feel like let us be the last generation that has to experience that. And that's why us taking these conversations, taking this journey of healing, sharing it with others, is important because we don't want to keep passing down to our precious young girls
Yep.
the wounded space. No, honey, don't go into it knowing that, all men cheat. No men are faithful. No.
Nope.
All are not. All men don't cheat.
Right.
Exactly.
You just didn't meet any that didn't cheat.
Yep.
There are men that are faithful. You just haven't met one that's faithful.
Yep.
That's a you thing, because you have to start thinking of what spaces are you putting yourselves in, what quality of people are you around, and what do you expect if you only talking to Pookie, Ray Ray, and them on the corner, like Kena was saying before, and you never leave the block to meet anybody else. Pookie and Ray Ray and them been with everybody for the last 20. What you talking about? What did you expect?
Yep.
If he ran through your 4 girls before you, what did you think you was going to be the prize at number 5? No, sis. Come on, man. And then you want to tell some other young girl, men are not faithful, men are not this. No, sis, it's your taste palette. Brush your teeth, clean your mouth, get appetite for something else.
Yep.
Right.
But don't teach these young girls that. Don't teach them from your mistakes, from still being in your mistakes. I'm sorry, Kena. Y'all know me, my mouth. But I'm saying, because this is the real deal. This is the hard truth. If you think about it, some mistakes we've made were not our mistakes. They were the mistakes of the people who taught us.
Yeah.
Right. Or didn't teach us.
Right, because they still stuck in not forgiving themselves. And this is why it's important. Like, no, you are not my competition. You my sister. No, I don't want to see you fall. I want to see you rise. I want to see you get up. I want to see you win. Why? Because when you shine, I shine. And that's how it has to, and that's where we have to get to before we get into these spaces of mentoring. Otherwise, we are just having commiseration revivals, and even in the church, commiseration, meetings, commiseration lives. If we were doing a live right now about all the toxicity, if we was talking, there'd be 9,000 people on this live right now.
Yeah.
We breed and we feed and we eat, and we're feeding ourselves toxicity. And it looks real and it looks true because that's what you keep building the appetite for. If you keep eating the same thing, you're going to believe it's delicious, even if you didn't like it in the beginning. You develop, you know what I'm saying? And so you don't want to try nothing else. And we as women, we have to learn how to try something else. Sis, come out of that mentality.
Yeah.
Try something else. I'm getting off my soapbox now. I'm going to the comment section because I want the people comments to be read. I just had to get that out. Y'all started this. Y'all provoked me. I was doing fine. I was in my demure space before. See, Moose says, yes, as men, we have to, and I can't do it alone. I need women that are healing too. And I believe that was based on earlier what I was saying about when we as women show up a certain way, how we need to be addressed, or how you can help, or how, show up. As President Eric is saying, we both the problem. No, Tasha said y'all are the problem. Y'all gonna have to take it tonight. He wasn't like that in the men's lounge last week.
Listen, he can't help himself.
No, yeah. You're right. He cannot help himself. Nope.
Tasha, with your husband. It's okay. He's gonna come up in a minute and share. Hold on, y'all. All right. So Dr. E says, it's unfortunate that in the Black culture, our men are the only ones who can call their women's B's or H's on records and dance to it. We not. That's a whole live podcast in itself.
Right.
A whole one. We're going to talk about. Admit that you don't, and I can't work with that. Let's see. Justin says, I'm quiet. Listen, I'm not fooling with you. I'm quiet unto myself. Can't nobody accuse me of nothing. No flirting or nothing.
Yeah,
okay.
Club.
All right. He said, I don't know a woman until I've seen her valley. It ain't intimacy until I look behind the mask. That's right. If you can't, I come out to get served. This is how I am. This is what you're going to get. I'm not apologizing for it. I'm being honest and real. Okay. I'm not always like this. I'm going to tell you how I get like this. I'm cool until you tap on a certain nerve and that sends me there. I respond by triggers. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't wake up angry, but we have to see each other, allow a person to see you in all 4 seasons. I need you to know what you're getting. And I want to see, tell me the truth. Don't whine me, dime me, bro. What's your temper like? He also says, I want to spend some time with her darkness. I love that. That's how I really know if she they. Come on. As I'm saying,
Now you know we're gonna get a poem tomorrow.
Okay, how I know you, babe. I need to see your darkness. We ain't mad at you. We celebrating you, Justin. Dr. E says, listen, I'm a woman with issues, but we still qualify. That's her new book, y'all. Dr. E, in the chat, please. If you can, tell them how they can order her new book. I am a woman with issues, but we still qualify for the abundance and wholeness. That's right. That is right. That is right. Still qualify. As we were sharing about how women feel, what we do, how it comes out. Moose says, now imagine us as men. It's not y'all's night. I'm just playing. So we can't do that with most women either. I think it's referring to how we react and respond and the hugs and all of that. It's okay. I'm sorry. I've acted up tonight. I came out of my demure space. It also says women weaponize things so quickly. We do. And we weaponize them on each other, which at the end of the day,
Right.
we weaponize it. We end up weaponizing them on ourselves. We don't think that we don't really realize. When you start to turn things and weaponize them, you are actually setting yourself up, because now the person who trusted you is looking at you differently, so it'd be wise of you to put it in the vault and keep it there. But some of us ain't gonna learn that. Let's see. Okay, he said we gonna all be rich playing like that. Now Moose has a question that I'm gonna leave to the end because that's a really good question. Bear with me. Let's see. AJ says, Dawn, you gonna get shorted on your love offering talking that talk like that. That's okay. I'm gonna say it loud with my chest unapologetically. That's all right. That's why I have a 9 to 5. It makes up for when the offering is short. Dr. Elaine was saying they want to be seen. When we're talking about all of these different, everybody has to have their conference and this and that. No, let's just come together. Okay, we did all that. Yep. Be careful what you ask. This is true for Theo, gonna be on your back. We promise you. She will be. Like he says, that's the ministry of goodbye. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What does that mean? The ministry of goodbye.
Letting people go, turning things loose.
Okay. Yeah.
When we were talking about that, you better run. Listen, it's okay. I could take it. Thank you, Auntie Barbara. She is the queen. This is the queen of the Bravo with Sheila Network, y'all. My Auntie Sheila, my Auntie Bravo herself. She says, this is great conversation. Bravo. Thank you, Auntie. We are trying to keep it real over here before we wrap it. Juggling Mommy says, stop trying to be the woman at the well. Oh, all right. Ooh. Come on now. I'm going to leave that alone. Y'all let that breathe. Let it rest. Said God ain't called you to that, sis. Go get it together. Yeah, go get it all the way together. She said, I left and came back to war. Who tipped over the bucket? All right. Moses said, I call him, we call him Moses over here on the Bravo. He says, collaboration is power. And it is. If we learn how to work together, we're better together. Dr. E says, if women stop putting out kibbles and bits, okay. If women stop putting out kibbles and bits, you will stop attracting dogs. There are some great Black kings. Oh, y'all walking heavy tonight. That's King had to turn a whole chair.
It's after dark.
It is after dark. You're right.
It's bedtime. I gotta go. Like
what? Listen, Justin not quiet. He flirts in words. Speak to him through literature. Listen, you better keep your pen. He don't have to open his mouth. It's his pen that's the problem. Yeah. See, look, Theo, just get said, writing right now.
I knew it was writing. I know.
So we are through our comments there. I want to get to. Oh wait, hold on. Was there one more? Nope. Okay, there we go. So I want to wrap our conversation up in a pretty little bow. And I want to thank our ladies. Like, we have these open conversations. We never know where we're going to land. Everything doesn't have to be, we don't come on to interview here. We come to have conversation and talk. And it seems like the main thing of where we landed for us tonight is on this point of competition, this point of insecurity, this point of self confidence, this point mainly of competition and what it's rooted in and where it comes from and why we need to stop it. And I'm trying to find Moose's question because it was really good. I believe he was asking how can, just give me a second, y'all. I'm usually much more organized, but y'all are seeing me in my real space and time.
It's all good.
Thank you, darlings. Listen, y'all get some love to these ladies up here. I'm so grateful for my sisters because they allow themselves to come on and be clear and transparent, and that's what we're here for. And I love that. I would not want to have these conversations with anybody else. We don't come to make it pretty and all that, but we come to really take off the mask and get down to the point of it. Be transparent, be real, and keep it 100% honest. Because that's the only way we're going to get better. That's the only way we're going to change our culture. The only way we're going to change our communities, the only way we're going to change our families is when we are honest about it. And we not only are honest, but we start taking steps to be better after we're honest. So these ladies are all professionals in their own right. And I'm so grateful that they take their time to share on tonight. So the last two questions, I want to give each of you 2 minutes to answer so then we can wrap this up because, I don't want to keep y'all too long because we could chat all night. I ain't mad at it. But, we got it because this is good. We are helping and we are healing. For me, it's if no one walks away with a nugget for the night, then for me, this is in vain. But because I know that we are helping each other, it's all worth it all the time, every conversation. Because we are learning. I learn from each of you. I have something from each of you every single time. Every Thursday night, I learn something. So one of my question is, how do we erase our wounds? And that, for me, is related to Theo's point, and I don't remember if it was Keena also point about us mentoring. Because again, before we start to mentor anyone, even our grown women, even our sisters, we got to make sure that our wounds are healed, that they're not just covered with the Band-Aid and it's not just surface level. Because if you, as a married woman, talk to another married woman about a problem in marriage and she's unhappy in her marriage, she's not going to be able to give you good and wise sound counsel. She's going to start talking out of her pain. And that's what we don't want. So let's think about give one point of how we can self-heal. What's one thing we can each do to share with someone to help ourselves to start to self-heal so we're showing up better. And Moose's question is, on the male side, how do we help y'all with overcoming these challenges? So how can our men, matter of fact, we're not even going to talk about our wounds. I want y'all to share Moose's question. How do men help us overcome these challenges? I want to start with Tasha, because she's been a little quiet for a little while.
I personally, from a man's point of view, I think what we need from y'all is not just to say you're listening, to actually listen, and not to every fourth word, all the words, and respond to them accordingly. I think men, a lot of times, unfortunately, they come into a situation where they sit there listening to you, but they're not really absorbing everything you're saying, the nuances that goes along with the words. Sometimes we're speaking words, but there's more behind it. And if you really lock in and pay attention when we're discussing something with you, you're going to get the full effect. And I don't think men tend to do that. We need y'all to hear us. And again, not every fourth word, the whole thing, everything we said, and don't focus on the one small thing that we said that was kind of minor totally overlooking the bigger picture we were trying to communicate with you. I think our listening skills are very different between men and women, and I think that's where we don't seem to mesh. And I think if we can just come together with better communication skills, we can
Oh,
fulfill each other's needs better. Like I said, really hearing what that other person is saying, not just their words, but what's underneath those words will make all the difference in the world.
all right. So thank you for that, Tosh. She says, and the question is, how do men help help us with overcoming these challenges? And Tasha's input and share is to listen as well as hear, because even as Theo pointed out, I think it was last week, listening and hearing are two different things.
Hmm.
Um, and so that will help, because if you're listening and you're hearing what we're saying, then you'll be able to figure out or try to figure out how to address what we're expressing, or how to be present with what we're expressing. So thank you for that share. Kina, what is your 2 minutes on the clock? How do men help us overcome these challenges that we're having?
With the competition and what was the other thing that we came to the realization for?
Competition, insecurities. What was the other one?
Oh, okay, I know the answer. It's okay. It's so something that I've realized, and I'm gonna try to make this 60 seconds or less. I think that men, and this is gonna be harsh, but this is just gonna be the reality, should leave women alone unless you're ready and prepared to be her man for real.
Mm.
And be able to be the confidant, the leader, not the headship that she needs. Basically, emotionally, physically, mentally, financially. A lot of times men come up to women, and not every woman is fully healed, got healed, was healed. But you're saying you want to be her man, but when it's time to step into that role, you
Mm,
are not prepared to have that headship or leadership. To help us, to be honest, is just to leave us alone. If you're not ready to take us with the roller coaster ride that we come in, that's just the reality of it. That's how you can help. That's my take. That's how you can help us.
nope, that's good. That is good. So it's the leave us alone if you are not prepared to take on what we come with while we're experiencing these challenges, while we are going through, while we are healing, while we are doing.
Yeah, because
Um,
some women are going to still approach you unhealed. I'm just going to be honest. There's just women on these streets that are not going to be healed. And if you're not ready to deal with that, then just stay off that block.
there you have it. There you have it.
I'm
So,
sorry,
Coach,
that's what I was called, but
no, you good. You good. Listen, this is what we do here. This is what we do. We keep it 1000% real. Okay, you heard it here. Sometimes it's heavy. Sometimes you just gotta sit in it. That's all we do. Listen, sit in it, soak it in. This is a reality. This is how we as women. This is what the women we were doing last week, man. When y'all were talking, see, we were on the other side. So Coach Theo, to answer to answer the question, um, how do men help us overcome these challenges? If you could, your
Okay.
2 minutes, go ahead now.
So my answer is going to be a little different because
Mhm.
I don't know that a man can help me until I have healed myself, right? And so I think that I have to have gotten to the point where I am healed enough that I'm even going to be vulnerable enough to share with this man, right, what I have gone through, what I am going through, what I am healing through, right? Because you know me, I believe healing is a choice, but I believe that we're always healing from something, right? And so I think for me, in order for a man to be able to help me, I also have to be vulnerable enough to honestly share, because he can't help me if he don't know what he's helping me overcome,
Mm.
right? So I think I have to be to a space where I have healed enough that I'm vulnerable enough to share what I am dealing with. And then from that point, I think then it's being patient, right? understanding that, I'm still maybe going through a healing journey. So being patient, everything that Tasha and Keena said, right? Being able to communicate. If you know that you're not ready for me in the state that I'm in, step off, right? But you're not gonna know that unless I tell you. So I think it's a twofold thing, right? I think I have to be at a space because like Keena said, there are women that are walking around here that are not healed. They don't know they're not healed, and then they go into these relationships and they expect a man to be a mind reader, right? And it's not gonna work. So for me, I think in order for a man to help me overcome these challenges is I have to meet him halfway, right? Because if he don't know what I'm struggling with and going through, he can't really, he might think he's helping me overcome something, but he might be helping me overcome something that I'm not really trying to get over.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, listen, I hope y'all are leaning in and getting this good guidance and direction. This is good. This is good heavy stuff. They say we walking in it though, as Pastor Sheila would say, walking out with shoe leather sometimes. And these are good points. The juggling mommy says, be patient. She says, call her out at times. She says, give her grace and time. Justin says we need a co-op. Oh, the versus is coming. Versus ladies' room versus the men's lounge is coming. So y'all stay tuned. It's definitely going to be in October. It might be the first Thursday in October. Okay, wait, I'm hollering. So we ain't blame women last week.
It's your fault. You're the leader. Men
It's
are
true.
leaders.
It's
You're
true.
responsible. You are responsible for us.
But you know what? We ain't like y'all. This is what we talking about.
I was gonna say, but that's the point. Men and women are different.
Exactly.
Y'all didn't exactly. Okay, y'all didn't. You know what? Y'all didn't exactly blame us last week. We were just more direct about it. We weren't weaponizing. We was just stating that's so good. That's exactly why we said he can't help you. No, when we do verses, this ladies, it's gonna be a problem.
That's so true though.
Douglas Robbins says, honestly, he can't help you. You gotta help you. He can just support you on the journey. Justin says, healing is individual. We help each other heal ourselves. I am still hollering. Clear and effective communication is key. Is right. AJ. Listen, he calling it out. He calling out. He called it out. She said sometimes call us out. He just called us out. Oh, this is real time, y'all. Real time. Douglas Mommy said women also gotta know when they're not in a state to be with a man. Yes. As Coach Theo said.
Some women do know. Some women do know they're not in a state, but they don't care. They just want to be. I actually know a woman right now. She's actually a close friend of mine, and we've been working through this. But I'm starting to throw up the red flag. She goes through men like underwear. I'm not being funny. Like if she's dissatisfied with one man, instead of healing from that one, like on her Facebook, she literally goes to another man a month later, and it's like a new jacket every week. And I'm like, bruh, like so. Unfortunately, there are women that should be sitting down, but they don't.
Mm-hmm.
They don't go sit down in the corner. They still do what they want to do because they feel like they have to have a man. I have gotten to that place where it's okay to not have a man. I do want to get married and have children, but hey, it's just not that the time is not happening. The timing, the cards are not right. But I can still sit here and be okay with being alone, but some women are not okay with that, and that's another different issue for the day.
Do you know how many people are walking this planet who do not know they have a problem that needs to be addressed? Not just women, just people in general. Like, as an example, when I had my son, I knew I had a problem, and I knew I did not want to be the parent that my mother was, that my parents were. So because I recognized this and knew this, I strived to be different because I knew that the way I had been parented was wrong. You got people walking around who thinks that whatever they went through before, that's the way it is, and they just bring it forward, they bring it forward, they bring it forward. Like if you're an alcoholic until you recognize you have a problem, you're never going to get help. You're going to
Yeah.
keep saying I can stop whenever I want to. I can drink a little bit, whatever the case may be, until you recognize you have a problem. And no matter how many times people point out to you, but you lost your job, you burned the house down, whatever it is that you did while you were drinking. Oh no, that was just a one-time thing.
Mhm.
There's so many people walking this planet who have serious problems,
Yep. And don't know.
whether and I'm not even going to pinpoint what they are, and they don't even know it. So how do you get help sometimes when you don't even know that there's something really wrong here?
Well, that's a
You know, and
whole different conversation.
That,
That's,
yeah.
yeah.
Because
and
but
that's a whole.
But that really is part of the problem. Is a lot of people in relationships who think that the way they handle things is right, and that they don't need to change anything. Nothing needs to be tweaked.
yeah.
Nothing needs to be adjusted. This is the way it's supposed to be. Because
And this is
maybe,
And
why.
you're right.
they've never seen a
But if
successful relationship. Everybody around them is divorced,
Mhm.
whatever they're coming from, and they don't even know they have a problem.
Yeah.
But if you
It's
think about it, we are all products of our environment in one way or
Right.
another. We're either repeating what we've seen or we are using it as a gauge to do the opposite of. And
Right.
yes, a lot of us, it's not a problem if you've accepted this as your reality. It's not a problem for them. It is a problem for other people. You're
Right.
not going to see it. You're not going to see anything as a problem until it becomes a hardship on you. That's the only time we say anything is a problem. Everybody's capacity is different. And I'm not justifying that. I'm saying that's just a reality of it. But a lot of us will think that we are here. I know there was a saying that the best way to get over one man is to get under another, or the best way to get over one woman is to get under another. And it sounds like that's the cycle that Keena's friend happens to be in, going off of bad advice or bad. And again, it speaks to wounded women teaching, because she didn't just find that cycle anywhere. But this is why we have to be mindful of how healed we are and how much we can really share with another person, that's going to help catapult them to their next and not be damaging instead. AJ
and
says
they have to be ready.
so,
Everybody's not ready for healing. Like healing,
right.
when you heal the right way, and I'm saying it because I felt like when I really, really healed the right way, it hurt. Because it was taking a look at me. Like when I finally was like, you know what, I'm going to do this right. It was all about looking in the mirror and looking at me. And so some people are not ready to really look at why they are in the situation that they are in. Because yes, there are some things that are out of our control and we end up where we're at. But there are so many things that you're like, if I had made a different choice, right? Or if I had this, right? And so I think it's like there's so much depth to healing, right? Everyone's gonna heal differently. Everyone's gonna do it differently. But the real thing is, you really have to be ready to go through a real healing journey, and doing that means you understand that you're always healing. Because some people think, oh, I take a magic pill, I go to therapy, I'm healed. Right?
No,
It doesn't work like that.
You got to put the work in.
You got to put the work in. And it's kind of like the pivoting conversation we had, right? Because we're always healing from something, right? So how I heal from one thing is going to be, how I heal from the loss of my dad is different than how I'm going to heal from a breakup.
Right.
Or the ending of a friendship. So
that's true. So you got to know.
Also, how many times you're going to do the same thing the same way,
exactly.
and it doesn't work, and you keep on, like your friend, how many relationships she's going to go into doing it the exact same way and it's not working. So if you've done it 6 times, 8 times, 10 times the exact same way, and you're ending up with the same poor results, you have to change something. That's when you realize, something's wrong here. But some people never come to that realization.
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. But some people,
Right.
that's the result that they want. They have the capacity. They already know that it's going to get to. I only want 6 months of a relationship at a time, and so they're fine with that. But
Because some people like to struggle. Some people like that.
well,
All
that's
this
that's a whole.
insecurity or something that's going on with the person. Like I honestly will say, like I came out of my healing journey realizing that I was in love with being in love more than I was in love with being than myself, right?
Mm.
So I think at the root of it is your friend needs to really, she has to take a look at herself to really understand why she keeps ending up with the same person, but they look different.
It's the same spirit, different face.
That's not personal.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like waving the white flag now. I'm like, because her and I have had to talk, and I'm pretty much a loving person. I'm not gonna just say, "Oh, you suck." I'm gonna say, hey, I've noticed that this has been a trend recently, and I figured out what was going on with her. But like Tasha said, and she said it beautifully. Some people, they have a problem. They accept their problem. So she recognized she has the problem, but it's like, but she don't recognize it. So it doesn't matter that me, her mom, everybody else told her, because most people, when they have a problem, most people start pointing it out to you. But it's like, but in her head, she thinks it's okay. Good. Like, okay, well, and even though she's like, I know I should do that, but
because she
you know what I mean. So there's not. I don't know if
she doesn't even know where
She'll eventually have her aha moment. It may not be while you may not even know her at that point.
Yeah.
It could be 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. But she'll have that aha moment. We all do. That's why they say wisdom comes with age.
Yeah.
I have behaviors that I didn't have 20, 25 years ago. I'm not the same person. As you get older, you think and see things differently, and you act and respond differently. And she's not there yet.
Yeah. She got to get there.
Some people do, but everything is not. It's not a. She may recognize it or acknowledge it, but it may not be a problem. She's not recognizing it as a problem. She may be just recognizing it as a pattern. So until again it becomes a problem for her, then she's not going to. People change when it starts to affect them as a problem would.
Yeah.
But I don't want to cut you ladies off, and we've been having a great conversation. AJ says, good with the relationship until it's time to take the mask off. He also said healing requires self-accountability. Absolutely. Yeah. He also said madness of the highest order when we're talking about that cycle. And he also says a mask relationship lovers. Oh, that's going to be, I'll write that. So before we end tonight, ladies, he's been sitting in the lounge. We don't usually do this, but I'm feeling a little extra this year, and we did it last week with the men's lounge. We had all the men up and they were talking and sharing. And then at the very end, we allowed Coach Theo to come up and give a few words on what she had heard, and what a nugget was that she had to share. So we've had Sir Eric the Matador in the back of, the partner to the husband of Lady Tasha on the platform. So Lord, I'm going to bring him and allow him a little space. Give him, I don't know, we'll give you 3 minutes, Eric, if you're there, if you're not there, I don't know. If you are, I hope you're right there. He goes, all right. So you are the first man that has ever crossed the threshold of the ladies' room. So welcome in for your 3 minutes. You've been listening. You've been, tuning into this conversation. As all our men were, Justin, Moose, I cannot wait till we have our verses, because ladies, we're going to get it, okay? Because we done showed up tonight. But thank you for hearing us. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for allowing us to express ourselves. So Eric is going to speak on behalf of the men. We're going to give you your 2 minutes to share so that we can close out. I feel like we're in church. We can wrap up the show tonight. I'm sorry. I was taking it to help it, y'all.
We're going to do the benediction.
So is there
Right.
anything specific
Let me
that
go
you
get my
want me
help.
to
Let me go get
comment
my
on?
comment. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Is there anything specific that you would like me to comment on? Well, good evening. First off, good evening, panel,
Well,
ladies.
Justin
Sorry,
Justin says, get him,
Hi,
E.
Smoochie.
I got him. Just go ahead. What is there anything that you would like me to comment on? Hmm?
On the conversation. To give us what is your takeaway from what you've heard? Your wife said hi, Smoochie. I don't know if you heard her. I don't
Yeah,
want you to get into
did
Yeah,
you
yeah.
hear?
Hello.
Wow.
Okay, wait a minute now.
it. Always.
Yeah.
Come on with your
Okay.
2 minutes.
All right. So, um, healing does require accountability, as Justin said. Um, a lot of times, women don't like to admit when they're wrong. Some women don't like to admit when they need help. Um, some men, I'm gonna be honest, some men don't admit when we need help.
We ain't talking about y'all tonight. It's about the
I
women.
know, but we talking about the women. So yes, some women don't like to. Some women don't want help from men. Some women feel like they can do it on their own, and that they don't need the man's help or perspective in this. But if you want to heal from a situation, you can always heal from a situation. You can never um dispose of the situation, of the hurt and pain. You can never dispose of it. You can always heal from it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if you really want to heal from it, healing requires sacrifice. You got to be willing to sacrifice something in order for you to heal. And sometimes it's sacrificing your guard, your dignity, to let your guards down, to let that person, to let that man in, to help you try to heal. Even though y'all can say, well, we don't need the man to help us heal. It's always good to have that support system next to you that can help you move from step A to step B. And or listen, me and my wife don't we lean on each other. We lean on each other, we cry with each other, and or we let our guards down with each other. And with us letting our guards down with each other, we never turn around and throw it in each other's face later on down the line. And that's something that we as men and women have to educate ourselves and grow within our spirits with that, because we can say one thing and do another, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're growing together, you have to be on that one accord, so that way you can get past the hurt the hurt and the pain that you received in past relationships. And or I've grown um through my hurt and pain of my past relationships and everything. The scars and wounds are always going to be there. It's just, it just hurts a little less, because now you found that person that you can put your trust into, that you can put your feelings into, and feel as if that person is not going to do the same thing that your past relationships have done. And it does help to pray for one another. You may not know how to pray for that person, but it's just a matter of closing your eyes and asking God what you want help with, to help you with that person.
Okay.
My wife doesn't even know I pray for her, because I can sit there and just close my eyes. She don't even know that. She knows that now.
Aw.
She knows that now.
Yo, this ain't that kind of show. Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm just
Wow.
saying.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was
Men
coming.
and women just need to be on the same page if they want to be in a relationship. Just like y'all said
Mhm.
earlier, you can't be somewhere and a man If a man's not ready to handle what you have, yes, that man needs to walk away. We've said it in past conversations. And I've said it. And or I'm me and Dawn we can go back to the beginning when we used to date and so forth. Our first conversation lasted 6 hours and we sat in a car in front of my building and had nothing but conversations about her and about God and so forth. Because me as a man, I needed to know who she was and who I was dealing with. And she said to me, "Is that something you can handle?" And I told her yes, because I know I could handle it. And a lot of men will say, "Well, yeah, I can handle it." And then down the line, it's like, "Oh, this is too much for me."
That is true.
But if you want to be with that person, you have to be able to let go of some things, and you have to be able to elevate yourself so that way you and the person that you're with are on the same level. You're both going to be equally yoked somewhere down the line if you continue to support each other.
That's good.
Thank
That's
you.
good. Thank you. Thank you. I want to read these last two comments. Now, thank you for that share, E. So basically, ladies, and gentlemen, we want to keep in mind that, what he's saying is it's about men can help us, as Moose was asking, overcome the challenges by being a support. We have to learn how to accept support or pick up support and put down weaponizing. We also have to learn how to develop a new normal together. That I think that's one of the ways that men can help women get through these challenges or overcome them, is helping us to develop new normals in our lives. Help us to know that we are in safe spaces where that is a possibility. And sometimes, and this is for men and women, we have to learn how to create new sensory memories. We have to remember we are dealing with individuals that have dealt with other individuals that are still carrying some residue of those past relationships. And sometimes there's sensitive areas that when you touch me like this, it brings me back to an unpleasant space. But it takes time and patience and grace. And I think Juggling Mommy said it earlier, that when we hit those moments, that we pivot, as we talked about before, and help each other to develop a new sensory memory. I used to remind someone I was dating every time something happened or he reacted a certain way and something came up, and he'd start going off the deep end. And I realized, I was like, "Oh, he ain't talking to me. He's talking to whoever he was with last." He was like, the person not even here. And I would have to remind him and say, "But we're not there. Is whatever brought you to that space. Are you experiencing that now here?" And he would say no. And I'd be like, "Okay, so we're going to breathe and we're going to do something different." We have to create new sensory memories for each other. And that takes time and patience. So one of these last few comments, I want to thank everybody on the panel for sharing on tonight. If you guys don't mind, please put it in the chat how you can be reached, how you can be followed. Tasha, Keena, Coach Theo, Eric, you can put it in the chat so that people who even may watch the replay will be able to reach out. Juggling Mommy says, "But are they listening when others point it out or brush it off? There's a big difference in ignorance versus avoidance." That is so true. Juggling Mommy, we can't wait for you to get on this platform. You will have to come on the Versus show. She also says, "Yep, and don't just say you are healing because it's a trend, because healing is rocky." Talking about being honest about what you can handle. She also says, "It's a commitment that requires intentionality." We have to help each other heal. We are all that we've got at the end of the day. So yes, we have to commit and be intentional in that commitment. And AJW says safe. We all need to create safety for one another. It's not just one-sided, but we all need to make sure that we are creating safety and safe spaces for one another. So again, if you guys could put your information in the chat, if you want to get Keena's book, it is the correct information is up in the chat. If you want to get Coach Theo's book, the correct information is in the chat. Eric and Tasha don't have a book yet, but we're going to speak it into existence that somehow they're going to have one, and that's going to be up and coming. I don't know what they're going to write about, but who knows? I guess we'll figure it out. And as you all know, I am your Thursday night host, Lady Dawn B. You are here on the Bravo and Sheila Network on YouTube every Thursday night. We look forward to you meeting us here and spending this time with us so we can have great conversations, so we can communicate better and show up better in our spaces of relationship with one another, but most importantly, with ourselves. Justin says, right, we're looking forward to her being on the panel. Okay, well, listen, in October, you don't want to miss it because the Versus is coming up. We had the men's lounge last week, the ladies lounge, the ladies room this week. So we're going to bring everybody together so we can have this great debate. Oh, boy. Keena, get ready. Theo, get ready. Tasha, get ready. Juggling Mommy, get ready. Because I don't think that the fellas are going to let us get off.
I'm sorry. You said Juggling Mommy and looked off to your left. Is Mommy? Is that
because our son was coming in the door. That's why.
Oh,
but guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. Join us next Thursday night. We will have the whole panel up here sharing, and we're gonna have great conversation. And guess what? Our topic is: who did I marry? Oh, this is going to be a good one. We want to talk about how much involvement. Y'all know it's never normal. Y'all know it's never just straight that, right? So we want to talk about how much outside interference from families affects our relationships and our marriages. Who did I marry? Did we marry the person or did we marry the family? I don't know, but we going to find out. What are the pros and cons? So thank you for joining, everybody. I hope you all have a great night. We look forward to everybody being here. Thank you, Lady Tasha. Thank you, Lady Keena. Thank you, Coach Theo. Thank you, Brother Easter Eric. And it is my pleasure to be your host, Lady Dawn B. We are out. We'll see you next week.
Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life. I'ma make the rest of my life.